Only way this thing will be official is if the people choose it. So that means share the show. Monday evening, welcome to Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the architect of Chocolate City, the mayor of Chocolate City, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, the militant with a microphone, also known in some circles as the world-class smart ass. This is the inaugural edition. And when I say inaugural, I mean weekly, because we do a show on Monday and we do one on Wednesday. So this is the first shot that we shoot out the boom cannon every week, Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, until whenever I choose to cut the machine off. It is live from the basement. So what we're gonna do tonight is talk about what's happened since we were last on, kind of close the gaps on that. I had to talk about some current events because there's a lot of shit going on. Right. So, but I do have a guest, and I want to welcome him back for the first time because when January 1st, when we came on, we did a New Year's show. Go check the show out. They're all archived. I talked about 10 years since I started what they call now podcasting. For me, then it was what we defined as internet radio. And early on in the formation of the People's Network, I was doing live from 3041 North, right? Shout out to Keith Terry from 3041 North. And I had a whole different kind of thing going. And this brother was one of the first brothers that I had on, as far as being someone who was seeking who had political aspirations, someone who wanted to run for office. And the crazy thing about it is I can name, there was DC Crowley, there was Mandela Barnes, there was James Matthew, and there was you.
Right.
So, my brother, tell these people who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Randy Jones. I am candidate for the 7th District Alderman position. What I do, I work in the social service now. I'm actually a small business owner on top of that. I'm a member of the Safety and Civic Commission for the City of Milwaukee, which is a volunteer position for the 7th District. I also have a nonprofit called Stand on Track, which our main focus on is mental health, educating people mental health. I'm a licensed realtor, so I also focus on helping people prepare their credits and first-time home ownership.
All right.
Yep.
So it's safe to say you're pretty active in
Big time.
these streets, as they say.
Big time.
Y'all share this show, share the show, share the show, share the show. I tell you that all the time. And I want to say that this show is brought to you by EPU Self-Defense, Personal Defense. And they have the EPU Defense System. You've been seeing me present their information a lot. Their website is epusds.com. And this is personal defense. This is not karate. Shout out to John Fletcher, who is the proprietor of this organization. He'll be on next actually Wednesday. So I was gonna say the next show, but Wednesday he'll be on. But he's a sponsor for us. So I want to shout out to EPU Personal Defense. If you want to do business, if you have a small business, if you have a movement, you have an event, you have a campaign, such as my guest tonight, you have whatever you want to do that's positive and progressive for the community, please do not hesitate to bang my line. I promise not to knock the stuffing out your egg McMuffin. I'm a reasonable man. Everything's negotiable, whatever costs incurred. I always say everything's negotiable. So holler at me, man. One thing we got to realize is in this new age of the self-starter, we have to master the art of marketing. This is what the giants, the corporations, this is what they've done to us. They've made us slaves to brands and logos because you constantly see the information over and over. You can't even count how many times a day you see a McDonald's commercial or you hear something in regards to Coke or Pepsi. You know what I mean? To the point where certain brands have become the name of products, right? People say, "Give me a Kleenex." It's not called Kleenex, right? It's not called Kleenex, right? So holler at me, man. Holler at me. There's a number attached to the show. That's 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. I'm sure my outlaw family will be along shortly. But my brother, like I said, welcome back. I know things look totally different from the last time we spoke years ago, right?
Oh yeah.
Totally different, right? And so I tell people all the time it's a journey, and our show has kind of just managed to evolve along with the times. And so one of the things that we do on here is we talk about politics, in particular, local politics. Local politics are very important. And we're gonna come at this a bunch of ways tonight. So if this is what your game is, this is the show for you, right? And then we'll get into the silly shit and later on. You know that's coming, right? I'm a cheerleader for foolishness. Dion, I see you in the chat room. Said, okay, Kev. I see you, my brother, my brother. My sister Sharon Evans is in the chat. No, it's not. It was Khalif Rainey's district that he's running for, the 7th. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get all up in that, Sharon. You know how we do on Outlaw Radio. She's outlaw family, outlaw familia. My brother Rail, what it do, Fonzarelli? How you doing tonight, man? It's Monday, right? How you doing?
Hey, I'm blessed, man. Made it through the day. Start this week off right. Hopefully end up better by next week.
All right, Daryl. Look, I got your books, Daryl. Nobody else calls him Daryl except me. His name is Darrell. I say Daryl. Like, I'm gonna punch you in your face for that shit, Kev. But you won't, because John Fletcher's in the chat room, who's gonna teach me the EPU's personal defense system, Rail. So I'll be ready to defend myself against you when you decide to punch me for calling you Daryl. Right. There we go. Okay, Ewok in the chat room. Naracha's in the chat room. Naracha's in the chat room. What's up, my brother? Don't start no shit, Naracha. You know, you get to badgering me with his phone. Don't start. So my brother Randy Jones is in the building. He's running for the 7th district, which is and this is an aldermanic campaign. And we discussed the fact that this is an election year. You know, we got our mayor, who actually, people maybe they didn't pay attention. He only had 2 years to do what he was going to do, to shit or get off the pot, right? We said it wasn't an issue with him being elected, because in 2 years we'd revisit it, hire your ass, fire your ass. And there are also several aldermen who we said the same thing about, in particular with the state of Black Milwaukee, with the situations that we encounter in our community. I keep saying, well, when it's time to vote, then people are going to be held accountable. There's a couple different things with our low voter turnout and Black people's general distrust for the political system. So we'll get into that. But you're running for the 7th district. I want to start off by just saying, I mean, because you've already talked about being very active in the community, from being a social service professional to, some of your small business endeavors. But I want to get to the root, from the rooter to the tutor, because I want to know, in this day and time, in this climate, what makes you say, I want to run for office in Milwaukee, good old Milwaukee? Where did your motivation come from?
Yeah, it's a rough motivation, because for those that don't know, running for office is a tough journey. You find out who your friends are. But I can't let things go and be the ones on the sideline complaining all the time.
Okay.
I got to be in the game. I got to look out for my family. I got to look for my grandkids. And I also realize by working kids that in 30 years, they'll be running the city. So if I'm not equipping them to have some tools to run the city, or even just to function, that's my fault when I'm sitting at that window wondering why I can't get out of the house, because I haven't put nothing into it. And I sat on the sidelines, and there I stay still on the sidelines. And there's so many people in the city of Milwaukee that doesn't have a voice, because all the hustle and bustle that we got going in the city, and the slicksters and things like that. So it just drives and make a difference. Like, it's got to be a better way. I can't give up hope. So that's pretty much the main reason why I can't let it go.
Okay. Shout out to Eagle Eye Shaw as well, who is another sponsor for our show. I get love in the 414. It's 414 versus everybody. I want to okay, let me get to this Milwaukee right now for people of color. 40% of this population lives below the poverty line. Um, our public school system, for all intents and purposes, is failing. We don't have a definitive answer or solution to reckless driving.
Mhm.
They celebrating because homicide was down this year, but it's still over where it was before the pandemic, which was the record that it stood for 17 some odd years.
Mhm.
So don't get it twisted. Homicide is still in the building, okay? But at the same time, you have the emergence of this giant gentrification wave that you got to be blind not to see rolling from downtown, right? And head north.
Right.
And Sharon Evans in the chat room says, and then we got this horrific tax agreement that these leaders made, and they running around patting themselves on the back. This shit's horrible. When you think about the fact that there's some stipulations on this that say the actual funding that will be the benefit won't actually be able to be applied for 30 years. Is this true? That we really won't reap any benefits until 30 years. And then you add that to the racist stipulations that have been made. I'm on my soapbox because downtown is a hot fucking mess. Sorry, it's a mess. So you saying you want to go voluntarily.
Mhm.
I feel like you volunteering for Vietnam. Which doctor in the building? What to do, Mr. Carter? How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm all right, man. Sorry for my lateness, everybody. Sorry for my lateness. How y'all doing? I'm
What's
early
good with
for Wednesday.
you? It is what it is, man. How you doing tonight? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm just happy to be here.
There we go. Well, welcome to the show, man. But we got my
Yeah.
brother Randy Jones here, and come on, I don't know. No, you weren't actually with us when we had. It was a whole different cast. It was
Right.
when I when Randy was on. It's like a whole different group of people. He's like, who are these people? Yeah, I got new friends, Randy. So no, I mean, just like to continue the conversation. So you want to run, and you know that we in Milwaukee historically we don't have a very high voter turnout rate.
Not at
It
all.
is hard to get black people, in particular, a certain age group of black people, right? Gen Xers, y'all stand up because millennials might be a little bit more proactive. I don't know about young black millennials, but they might be a little bit more proactive with voting. But so you get this really low turnout districts that have up to 15 20,000 people and only 3,000 4,000 people vote, if that.
40,000 in the 7th district.
There we go. 40,000 people, and out of that 40,000, right? And if we could break down the demographics of who is what at what age, what percentage are felons that aren't eligible to vote, whatever would have you. Out of that, you might, if you and the I think it's two other people running for the 7th. How many other people is running?
Yes. Total of 4 now.
Okay, because Aisha Griffith is running for everything. She's running for mayor, alderman, county
County
executive.
exam.
She running for every goddamn thing. So you gotta see, like, what's going on. So how do you, like I say, man, and you got an interesting district. Let's talk about the borders. Where you got an interesting district. Talk about the borders of your district.
Okay. The border. Let's visualize being on by Washington High School, Center in Sherman. Okay, we're gonna go west from there to 53rd Street. 53rd Street, we're gonna make a right there, hit up back to Locust, take Locust all the way to 60th Street, 60th to Capitol, Capitol down, Capitol back to Fond du Lac, Fond du Lac straight back across to 60th, 60th to Hampton, Hampton back to 35th Street, 35th Street back down to Capitol Drive to 27th Street, to Hopkins, the 20th, back to Locust, take Locust back to Sherman, and back at Sherman and Center.
Okay,
That is the new district line.
That's a lot of soil. That's a lot of turf, right? And you got a little bit of everything, and you got some 53206 in there. You got some 209 in there. You got a sprinkly in there, right? And so this is next to the first district, which we always would say was probably the most prominent black district. And there's a little bias for me because I grew up in the Rufus King area neighborhood, Capitol Drive, faux life, right? But this is one too. This is very this is you talking about Sherman Park, first of all,
Right.
right? And then so you're going all the way back up to Hampton. You heading west, right? So this is a chunk. Let me catch my chat room because I can't lead them out. People get mad at me when I don't acknowledge them, and rightfully so. They're part of the show. Naracha said he said he cooling tonight. Oh Lord. Would there even be a vote going into election 2024? I really don't think so. He said you have his vote, and he lives in Maryland. So much for that. Shay and Krumer out in Denver. Peace, Outlaws. This is Brother Shay.
Thank you for your support.
Right. Thank you kindly. Don't let me down,
Thank you for your support.
Don't let me down, Jaime Town. He said greetings for the mile high income and migrant flooded city. Shout out to you and brother Shabaka Sankur from Shabaka's Black Experience. I rock with them heavy. And he said he ran for office twice. He ran for mayor of Denver, Colorado. Mama Jenkins, definitely glad to have you in the house tonight. She said, good evening, my Outlaw family. Let's make it do what it do. I'm a stake owner in the 7th district. I met you last time you ran.
Yes, and I'm coming to meet you this time too. As soon as Sean give me your address.
Well, she's on the show. So I mean, I don't know if we gotta wait for Sean, but I'm just saying Mama Jenkins is the 7th district. Mama Jenkins
on top.
Mama Jenkins is them people. So I know she glad to see you, right? Because she gonna tell it like it is. He said, my question is him, will he make a no, he won't. Will he make a no detain list for all the people who are living in poor cities and people of so-called color? He's gonna run for alderman. Naracha. He's running for alderman. You gotta learn your civics. I don't know that he has the power to do that. Sharon Evans said, we getting taxed up the ass. Yes, ma'am, and it's showing. My beer costs more. My tobacco costs more. Everything costs more. I know Kamara saying, well, maybe you should put the beer and the tobacco down and save some money. It's not an option at this point.
Everything costs more.
Right.
They need to just go on and legalize weed, man. You know what I mean? That new tax hike that turned $10 into $11. You know what I'm saying? $10 ain't $10 no more.
They said it
just ain't $10.
But you did this without adjusting anybody's income for a rise in the cost of living, right? We already dealing with high inflation. We're already dealing with inflation. And so your genius idea is to come in and say, I got an idea. Let's tax more. Like, you got to be the dumbest ass in captivity, as my mother used to say.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Kel, can we go back to that? Remember back in 2006 when I ran the first time, and you asked me about the bucks. You asked me about, should the city give the bucks of money? My statement was clearly no. They had everybody brainwashed saying that, hey, if we don't keep the bucks, we're going to file bankruptcy. The taxes because we're about to file bankruptcy. My plan was to say, if we give the bucks of money, just like Aaron Rodgers, the city of Milwaukee will be part owner of the bucks. So when the revenue comes in, we get our money back. But we keep giving to the bucks, and we got suckered in that, and now look where we're at now. The same thing, like I said, Detroit had 4 teams, and they still filed bankruptcy. So we was brainwashed to say, oh, if we lose the bucks, we're going to file bankruptcy. And I'm telling you, that's not true. That's a gimmick that the league has, that they do to cities over and over and over to get for us to pay multi-billionaires our money, and they just sit and reap the benefits.
It's old money. Milwaukee got a lot of old money. Brother Shay says, greetings, Randy. I know how it is to run for political office. I run for both city council at large in 2019 and mayor of Denver in 2023. So I know exactly what you're saying, and I can relate. Naracha's at Kamar's heels. He said, you late, bro. Peace, homie. You know, it's always good to see you in the building. He has to bring up Courtney. He has, and he don't want to get Kamar mad. Kamar get to snapping like, dude. Mama Jenkins said, let's talk about all these raggedy ass unoccupied buildings in this district. The sore eye of burned out houses and third world stores and gas stations that are open dope dens. Mama Jenkins ain't wasting no time.
Right.
She's like, let's go. Go ahead, Mama Jenkins. Let's go. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the state of the 7th district.
Right. So you remember at first when I ran the first time, I still work with Common Ground. We attacked that issue out of Board of Houses. We replaced 91 Board of Houses in the 7th district and got them back on the tax roll, which earned the city over $290 million a year on the tax roll. The Board of Houses, we can do the same thing again. Our gas stations, the issue we have with that, we have people that own these stations and own these corner stores that has no invested interest in the city of Milwaukee but taking our dollars out.
Okay.
If you're not investing in the city of Milwaukee or you're not investing in the 7th district, you own the store, don't come to me looking to get your license renewed. We're not letting people, we're tired of at the point, we can't let people keep taking from us and give nothing back. And then they treat us like we're trash when we go in the store with no respect whatsoever.
Well, we have discussed ad nauseum the whole hotspot debacle. Like that's been something that we dove in. I don't know if anybody's platform got in as deep as we did on it, right? And we talked about the fact that in most of the most dysfunctional communities, neighborhoods in our city, at the center of it is an Arab-owned gas station, liquor store, corner store, whatever, what have you. And those places have become nerve centers for, for like criminality, right? For lack of a better term. And so, but they befriend the community because the people in the community who represent that element seem to outweigh the people in the community who are anti. So this and a lot of this is because of the low rate of Black home ownership in the communities. So if you got some homeowners who 30, 40 years ago when Milwaukee was popping, bought them a home and they finished paying for it, they've retired, versus now these communities are part nomadic in that people, first of all, they're income deprived. So 80+% of their income goes into just where they live. So you're constantly moving, right? And so these are people who don't really come in, they move in, they don't invest in the community as a homeowner. So you got this kind of conflict, and you got these landlords who are not part of the community. So Mama Jenkins' concern is very, very valid. If you look at the area where she lives, I've been fortunate enough to be, a guest in her beautiful home. That neighborhood was premium when I was coming up.
Right.
That whole Capitol period was it was very hard to find a bad part of Capitol Drive. But now the amount of home ownership over there is kind of shifted. The presence of more Arab-owned businesses, tobacco stores, liquor stores. If you look at Starks, they've become a multiplex of a corner store. It's not just it's a whole like a mini strip mall, right? And so these places operate, and like you said, they don't. I know they probably give to some Pee Wee League teams or whatever. Sometimes I see a little sticker or something up in there, but it's no wholehearted investment like where you see them, unless they buying the shit and renting it out, right? So this is a problem. I don't know if one man can really affect change in, and this is why people are going to be so skeptical when you come and say, hey, I'm running, because we look at every politician now with a side eye, like, dude, you're not bigger than the machine. That Mayor Barrett put that whole gentrification machine in motion, and them shits is a Hellcat. That's a hell of a motor. You see, when they got to acting a fool, Mayor Johnson said, shit, we put a curfew downtown. Why you put a curfew downtown? When everybody in the surrounding area, you got Hillside 2 blocks away. Yo ass worried about some hotels and some high rises. It says a lot. Sheila Kitchens, my sister, in the chat room. How you doing tonight? How you doing? Let me see what Narach is talking about. He said, he's saying he see you doing something for the community. Well, you don't even, he said the way he comes across. You don't even know him. Right? You just met him. He's already voting for you from Maryland. Ruben Anderson, my brother, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Ruben Anderson is very active in these streets, right? Ruben's everywhere, carrying the flag, waving the banner. John Fletcher, how you doing? He said, why was the president at the hotspot? Well, was he at that? Did Biden? Come on, I know you went to see Biden. Did he go down in the hood like that?
Hell no.
Okay. Okay. He said he was at the hot. No, he said he was at the hotspot. I was like, shit, did he really go down on Atkinson? That would have been monumental. Biden said, "Where we going?" Shit, I heard about that place.
Fuck that.
Right. Hey, limo driver, turn this motherfucker around. Hey, but no, Randy. So you go downtown. This is not the old Ashanti all black. We got this black majority on the common council now. I believe the president is a Latino, right? I believe he's a Latino.
Perez.
Yeah, so they're in power, and you know how they is. They got solidarity. Whatever he's doing, they mobilize. Whatever, when they say, don't worry about it, Holmes, I got it. And I don't even know if he talked like that, but that's my best Mexican imitation. So you go down there and you walk in the building. How are you going to navigate these relationships if you going against the grain saying, hey, we need to go into the 7th district and do something about these buildings? And they say, Randy, just hold on. You don't understand. You don't really understand what committees and how this is run. So just sit down. How do you do this?
Well, a lot of that, the order person has some say-so of what permits get passed out in the district.
Okay.
And that's the thing. So that's when it comes before the licensing committee, and that order person get to say yay or nay, and they vote on it because they're always going to look at his recommendation because that's his district. And even as a realtor, when somebody buy a property in the 7th district, the alderman has approved what they're going to use that property for. So that's where it comes from.
Can your argument be, no, I don't want to take this vacant building that's been vacant for 20 years and make it into a store. I want to leave it vacant because are you then saying, well, I want somebody black to buy it? I don't know if we necessarily had a capital. So how do you fight downtown and say, I want to justify them not being given the permit?
Right. Well, and that's when you start having those programs we used to have that have money and funding set aside for our people by those stores. Because if our people in those stores, back in the old days, that's when the community was thriving because you had a vested interest. You made sure your trash is picked up. You made sure you didn't have people loitering outside your business. You took pride. But when you don't care, you don't live here, you make your money and run. And that's what's going on. They make their money and run. It's just not. It's all over the city, especially 7th district. I was talking to a lady on Center Street for 30 minutes. She fight the battle every day across the street from Washington High School.
Okay.
All the traffic goes on in that, but then you got a store there. You got a store 2 blocks down, 4 stores and 2 blocks with all liquor license. How much liquor do we need?
Well, none of them are going out of business.
Exactly.
But somebody has to buy liquor from them for. So I'm saying you're going to run into the people of the community who's saying, leave our liquor stores alone. Look. We expose.
I feel like instead of that, you know what I mean? If somebody was in a certain position, maybe they can push to where you can only have a liquor store in a certain mile radius.
Right. See, little things like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like little small stuff is the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're talking about changing zoning.
Right. You also have to look at too, the people complaining, are they voters? Are they homeowners? Or they're just on the sideline talking? Are they in the meetings to say, hey, this store is doing such and such and such, this store is having a community, this store is destroying our community?
Well, the one thing we found out from the hotspot is they will come to the meeting to help him get his license renewed. And they'll say, he give us stuff on credit. Leave him alone. and the city getting tax revenue, we seem to be tax revenue starved. So the city is getting tax revenue, and these Arab owners are contributing to campaigns.
Yeah,
you feel me?
One of the biggest things.
So you gonna go down there as a brand new alderman and say, I want to change zoning codes. I want to cut off the spigot for a lot of you and your political contributions. They gonna look at you and be like, Negro.
This nigga think he Cat Williams.
Right. Well, that's the thing. But once it's burning light, then the squeaky wheel. Then people start asking questions. Why did he want that store? Why do they want that store in the community that's causing all this havoc? And then 2 + 2 = 4.
We love liquor and weed. That's why. Right. I need to get blacks. I need to get Newports. I need to get 40 ounces. I need to get my hen and my wraps.
See, and that's why I feel like, it should be something that go over people's head. You know what I mean? To where you can only have a liquor store in one liquor store in every 3-mile radius or something.
Ooh,
it's got to be some kind of requirements to go with it, because 9 out of 10, it's the homeowner and the taxpayers, they suffer. The ones who's come to the store talking about they give me free credit, But if you look at them, do they vote? The ones that really struggling, like Mama Jenkins, those want to make a difference. Those are the people that I'm representing. The ones that want to be represented. The ones that don't want to be represented, you can't get out and vote. How easy it is to vote. You register, you mark a circle in the box.
Okay. I'm
like you said, out of 40,000 people, only 7,000 vote.
And I have to be I try to be realistic, right? Because we've jumped in the deep end of the pool before on politics with challengers versus incumbents. I watched Milwaukee basically elect the same set of individuals for leadership positions for 12 years straight, and there was no change and there was no progress, and it got worse and worse and worse until the idea of, hey, let's gentrify it came. And then they said, let's go. And then the buildings went to coming up downtown, and the train got built, and the new Buck Stadium came. I knew at that point the people didn't stand a chance, especially when you have elected officials right now who are endorsing affordable housing in the suburbs where we historically have not been welcome up to this day. So that's what I'm saying. When you walk into Tammany Hall, which I call City Hall, if you know about Tammany Hall and Boss Tweed and that kind of thing, when you walk in there, it's a money play down there. Old money still runs Milwaukee, and they have a way of saying Randy's just a little too radical right now. I can't support Randy on that. And you get outvoted time and time again. This is why you seen Miss Michael McGee Sr. with the paper bag on his head way back in the 80s.
Right.
And I'm ashamed of these people for how they actually vote. Dion said, please leave the hotspot alone. We talked a lot of hotspot on this show, man. I'm talking about people were drunk and had never even got a drink from the hotspot. It was just like, I swear, man. But it's an example, Dion. And I think it's become the poster child right now. Because I can name several notorious gas stations. We all know them if you live in the city. You drive right by them like, shit, you won't see me at that motherfucker. I will ride on E until I get to. I gotta.
The house spot is just a poster child,
right? It's just that, yeah. It's symbolic of it. And so now, I mean, brother, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just saying, I'm asking you the questions that your potential incumbents.
No, I'm glad. I welcome the challenge. I mean, I'm not afraid of challenge, and like I said, but something needs to be done. And
well,
so
it's a lot.
Just do nothing.
Because what Kamar just named off was what I happen to be familiar with is zoning.
Right.
And it is very hard to go.
Yep.
You talking about that's going to take you to get a zone. We're going to change zoning like Kamar said. And I'm just using this as an example. Well, I want to initiate something that says zoning wise, we are only going to have a liquor store X amount of feet from each other. Then that has to go to committee, and then that has to get voted on. And if you don't have people in the right place, you're just stuck in purgatory. Right. So it's like, well, let me move on to something else. Shit, let me see what else I could do. So that strip, that whole strip, that Sherman Park area, what people don't understand is, and I caught the end of it, that was such a prominent business district for a very long time. Like it was lined. That's why so much vacant retail property. North Avenue is the same way. Center Street is the same way. It's about 3 different main thoroughfares all the way up to Capitol that were lined with businesses. That is just blocks and blocks and blocks of vacant commercial real estate. Just sitting there like, oh, shit. Like, why is this? And some of it's been vacant for a very long time. So I do identify with Mama Jenkins on saying these eyesores. But I think we got to come up with a plan to put black people in a position to get these buildings.
Right.
Because right now we don't have any kind of black economic stimulus. So we're not time and time. This is how Barada took over the city. People say, hey, buy all them buildings. He had the money.
Right.
We didn't. That's right. Why are you? Because he had the money.
Right.
And we don't have any. Right. Like, so I'm just saying, I don't know if this, and we've discussed on the show before about black investment groups needing to start. People need to start saying, hey, let's get together and do some real official business with some money and some investment in infrastructure in the community. I don't know when that's going to happen. And that's not on you as an alderman. I'm just saying The problems that plague our community in this city are deep. It's like it's part legal and it's part cultural, right? It's part
Right.
systemic and it's part systematic. Because, like I said, if it's 4 liquor stores thriving, then there's 4 groups of people that patronize each one.
Right.
And you really can't justify shutting down a business that's profitable, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna close you because people over here drink too much. People gonna step. Who the fuck told you to monitor how much I drink? I don't need
No,
that.
you're closing down if they have too many complaints on them. So when the ones that get these complaints that's still functioning, that's a problem for me.
Okay.
You can't have a license suspended 10 days, 15 days, and every year you okay. No, something's wrong. People complaining on you. Something's wrong.
There we go.
You need to restructure what you're doing, give it back to the community, and you need to feel like you belong there. Make yourself like you part of the community, and again, and not just raping us for our income.
What about safety over there? Because that's some of the turf you rocking with is head buster turf, where you don't want to be over there at dark. It's like so you safety wise, how do you even attack that? Like you got some of the. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, and that's where you get, like I said, a lot of them. Those stores open late with liquor. They just inside behind their bulletproof glass and letting whatever happen outside. If it's your business, you're responsible for happen outside too. If you got to close the store earlier, then you need to close the store earlier. But you can't say because I'm behind this bulletproof glass, everything is okay. They have to take responsibility. If they're there and you want your license there, you didn't take responsibility of what goes on in that block in that corner too.
Right. That's what we were saying about the hotspot. You know what I mean? Like it's their job. It's that owner job to clear the space out in front of the store.
He's making enough money to make it happen.
When I was growing up and we used to be hustling and shit, we had a corner store that we used to hustle in front of. The people in that store often throughout the day used to come out there and move us the fuck around.
Right.
I'm going to call the
police. You know what I mean? It's on that store to clear that corner.
That's part of their responsibility. It's part of doing business.
Right.
Okay. Accountability
because you're supposed to have a safe space for people to come.
Right.
This is true. Jesse Paris, he said, Randy, many of our people are tuning into the new black media and are demanding something tangible and specifically for FBA, DOAs, and freedmen for their votes, especially the under generations. So people, maybe black people will sooner or later stop making speeches and actually have an ask when they come to a politician. I see a lot of black people go to meetings and they more Martin Luther King than anything. Right? Like you came to give a speech, bro. You didn't come with no kind of tangible plan. And I tell you one thing, my forefathers fought in the blood of Jesus is lying in the streets. And they sitting there like, what do you want?
Right.
Oh, you sound like Lavelle Crawford. That was a good Lavelle Crawford.
Hey, you learn something. You learn a new talent every day, right? I just
got it, dog. You just nailed it.
I've been to just in my involvement in grassroots organizing. I've gone to so many meetings that were supposed to be intentional. That were supposed to be specific. They were supposed to be for a purpose, and it just turned into a speaking contest. Where brothers just got up and just tried to make themselves sound like the most elevated, like I'm Sawiki Mahim in my female Poputo. And it just turns into like I'm sitting there like, that this ain't about that, right? This ain't.
We know the problem. We know the problem. Give us a solution.
Right. I just like you just want to be in the community journal or something. Let me see. He said, how many aldermen are in Milwaukee, and do you have a strong mayoral government there? How many aldermen? I forgot how many there are.
15.
15. Okay. 15 districts. Do we have a strong mayoral government? Do we? Or do we have an empowered, kind of stilted, ventriloquist type, hand up the ass type mayoral government where somebody's moving the mouth? You're not sure who it is. I'm sorry. My bad. Young Bruce Wayne runs Milwaukee. Y'all know this, right? Y'all know this. Mama Jenkins said, I've been saying let this city go bankrupt and then see what happened. There's a lot of money here in this city for what is needed in certain areas, like downtown. That Family Dollar on Capitol Drive closed, and the new owner tried to open up their store and sell beer right next door to the Best Buy liquor store. I went to the guy and shared with him that it wasn't going to happen. He withdrew his license, and he is the same man that rents the gas station on the corner of Sherman and Capitol. Okay. Mama Jenkins, you are correct in that there is money for the things they had money for these bump outs.
Right.
Right. They will come up with some bread. It's like America keeps saying we broke and then $11 billion to Ukraine for aid. Like what? What are you talking about?
You know, Sherman Boulevard is next.
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful area for gentrifiers, man. It's so many classically designed homes over there from famous architects, Frank Lloyd Wright, and all this kind of stuff. And these baby boomers, these are not the baby boomers, but the millennials, are they coming for that shit? And it's a nice, quiet coffee shop. Is borderline to a Jewish community. Do you have any of that Jewish? You got any of our Hasidic brethren living in you? Because you, how close are
Majority
you?
of them.
Okay.
I'm right up. I live on 51st and Chambers. So
oh man, you right up the street from me, man. Hey, what's happening, neighbor?
So the synagogue is on 52nd in Burlock.
So you can vote for this brother Kumar.
Yeah,
you can vote for him.
No doubt, you got my vote already.
They can put that yard sign up.
He said, "Yeah, it turns into a bunch of I don't know what this word is. Anybody who can pronounce this word gets a free Outlaw hoodie." He said a bunch of publicity, some babble most of the time. Bad is bad. That's what it means. It's bad. So yeah, I'm saying. Now, have you spoken with them yet? Because you really got to go around this whole district. I know. Shout out to Vince Tony when he was doing his last aldermanic run in the first district. Vince wore the bottom off his shoes doing doors.
Yeah.
Do you have a team? Do you have are you just solo with the doors?
I'm solo the door for now. I do have a team. We hit some doors, but the door concept is kind of really difficult now with the weather. It gets dark so late. So if you're knocking it early, people are at work. Wait till they get off work. It's so dark, and people are so afraid to open the door.
Shit.
So we kind of turned to doing phone calls. People seem to take that a little easier. Plus, it gives me more time to talk to people because I'm at a door. I can be talking to somebody for half an hour and they don't understand. I got to keep moving. You can call me later. I give my personal number to people. Here's my number. Call me later. But that's how frustrated they are. So I take that time and listen to them because they just want somebody to hear them.
So I mean, I know. Rest in peace to Chris Johnson, who was a great friend of mine, who would always explain the political process to me, and saying that a lot of brothers or people who run for these offices don't understand the power of mail and postage. Right. And he said it can be very expensive if you don't really do it right, but it's so crucial because it puts you in people's mailboxes where you might not necessarily be on their poach,
right?
But they open up the mail or you got something sticking in the door. So I was just wondering because where we get killed at, and this is why right now we have a county executive and a mayor who basically ran away because $300,000 here, $700,000 there.
Exactly.
Game over, right?
But sometimes the city of Milwaukee is like a high school prom. It's just who's popular, who people see the most.
Okay.
A lot of voters are not educated or who they voted for. It's like the first person knocking your door, people say, well, I'll vote for you. They don't know anything about anybody else. So my thing is to let people know, let me talk to you because no matter what happens, if I don't win, whoever wins is also going to be my alderman. So I want to make sure they're capable and we are capable of doing the job as an alderman.
So have you talked to any of the businesses in the district so you can be there to just because you can campaign out in the community, can't you? You can't be at a voting space but you can be out at a business just talking to people. You can do that.
Right? So I have talks. I'm at Sherman Perk a lot because that's kind of my second office beside my home office. There, I'm having a meet and greet there. I've been to the Phoenix a couple of times, but you always wonder that thing that everybody who pops in is not of the 7 districts. So you got to make sure your time is wise. Can I reach 20, 50 people if I go door to door using my van list? Or do I sit in a location and only pick up 20 people?
Well, okay. So events that maybe Saturday, I'll be here.
Right.
Friday night, I'll be here.
Right.
And I'm saying because I'm thinking about once again your district and what businesses are in your district because the Sherman, the Black grocery store, that's on Sherman Boulevard. So is that in your district?
Yep.
So have you gone to talk to them yet to say, hey, I just want to put my stuff in here and just to have
I do that a lot, but it sounds like if you notice the gas station on Sherman and Burleigh, I have my yard signs up, and so apparently everybody got their sign up now. And of course, they do the sign block at them. Like, come on, we running the campaign like that? So I don't know. So I'm just, my thing is like, I just want to talk to the voters. So I just give people a call. I'm just using my van list. I'm calling people and say, hey, if you don't have any questions now, here's my personal cell phone. Call me because when I'm in the office, that's what I want you to have. You got my address. You got a problem. Hold me accountable to serving you. Because like you said, everything else as an alderman, trying to get people votes and trying to serve different changes zones. But my main job as an alderman is make sure your basic public work needs are taken care of. So when you call and say your garbage can get picked up, you got a light out, you got a pothole, that's my primary job. I can do that from day one. When you call me, I'm answering phone, getting back to you. That's from day one. So everything else that people are kind of naive when they get in office, yeah, I got a safety policy, I got a job policy. That stuff may never happen.
Well, but you also have to get on certain committees too. So a lot of your time is spent in permit hearings and being in committees like that make different decisions on stuff. So you might not be as free to answer the phone for every. I mean, we talking about an area that's vast. So if every time a light is out or it's a hole in the street, you ain't never getting off the phone.
Right.
You're sitting in every meeting like, hold on.
Right. And I tell people I may not have to because of the time I do have, I drive the district. I may catch a light before you wake up in the morning.
Okay.
And it's not a hard job for me to call DPW. Hey, I need to go take a light up. And usually when the alderman calls, it moves up in the priority stack. And the only thing comes before it, it's another safety issue.
I've heard that before.
So you just have to make that phone call and make it happen.
Dion says Atkinson is the liquor strip. Atkinson is the strip of a lot of shit. They closed the Walgreens. That Walgreens was there when I was knee-high to a flea. They've closed the Walgreens. Cole's food store is gone. Of course, it's Lena's. Whatever. It's becoming a food desert, basically. I mean, people could, East Capitol, whatever. And you can always go down to the Walmart and get food. But I'm just saying that neighborhood was one of the best things about growing up in that neighborhood is because you didn't really have to leave the neighborhood to get what you needed.
Right.
Because you can go to Kohl's, get your grocery, go to Walgreens, get whatever you needed from there. Right. If you wanted some liquor, it was a liquor store. You go right back to right down. You want some KFC sitting right here. You want some fast food, McDonald's right here. I mean, it was just Rankin Son selling cars up on one end, right? Like, and so in between that was every kind of business that we needed, garden center, everything. So in our neighborhood, that's why people say you ain't never been on. I never went on other streets because there was no need for us to leave the community. It's like we got whatever we need over here. It's just and that's not the case anymore over there. Obviously, I know things change, but I don't think this city is interested in rejuvenation for Black people because I believe removal is their ultimate goal. Dion says from the hot spot to 3rd Street, I know from the hot 27th all the way back down to what they call the low end on the triangle where the 5 points is. Atkinson goes down. It ain't no sweet part of it. No sweet part of it. Jesse says, how many signatures do you need to get on the ballot? You got your signatures, right?
I'm already well, they called it you recommended to be on the ballot until it actually comes. So I got that call last Tuesday.
Okay. I mean, you had to get 200.
You need 200. Anywhere from 200 to 400 signatures.
Okay. In a district with 40,000 people. Damn. Mama Jenkins said, Mr. Jones, will you be available to do walkthroughs? You can call me and my husband, and we can talk to you. She said, question, are you endorsed by Alderman Rainey? What are your days at Sherman Perks? Mama Jenkins is working it out. Let's answer one at a time.
She getting to
it. Well, out of courtesy, I did try to call Rainey just to let them know I was running. It's just something that you do. I don't like to ambush people. I mean, I ran against before, but I haven't talked to Rainey. He hasn't called me anything, so we don't talk. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about the walk?
I will be honest to tell you that after I ran in 2016, he was impressed with all the work I did. He did appoint me to the Safety and Civic Commission, but even through that time frame, we never talked because they were saying that the aldermen was intimidated what we did on the Safety and Civic Commission, that we would take their spot as an alderman. People would come to us instead of them. So I just kind of did what I did and made recommendations to the Common Council and things like that. And my walkthrough.
What about these walkthroughs?
Walk through the district. Oh, that's on a daily. I mean, it doesn't take hard to get up, drive through the district because you got to know people. I think the city is so disconnected now, especially this because we forget the simple fact of building a relationship with people. If I build a relationship with people, things go easy. People feel easy to contact me. I feel obligated to make sure when they call me, call them back. They will understand. If I don't call you back tomorrow, he must have been busy, but I will get back to you.
Okay. I think she personally wants to. I think she wants you to holler at her. I think she wants to aid and assist.
Hey, here's my number. Here's my number. Area code 414-477-6442.
Say that again slowly. I got some real remedial people on here.
Area code
not Mama Jenkins, but
414-477-6442.
And she said, "What are your days at Sherman Perks?"
Well, I kind of bouncing it out. I mean, when I don't have a meeting, so it's kind of like in my dead time in between putting yard signs up, talking to people, I just pop in there and trying to talk to people. But I want to meet people where they at, so I'll come to you.
Maybe she can name a time. Maybe she can
sometimes my feet get cold in Sherman Perks. So
Mama Jenkins got pulled. She might can get some people up there to hear you, and you can speak to them. And
yeah, so I'm planning on having a meet and greet there. Hopefully. We was gonna have it this week, but since the weather is supposed to get bad tomorrow, we're gonna sit back and see what it looks like after Wednesday.
Whole city shut down already for tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's
said I'm working from home in my my English accent. I'm working from home tomorrow. Man, Jesse said, "Have you started the forums and debates yet?"
I can't wait. Okay. I can't wait because I think we need that. Like I said. It just matter people knocking doors saying, "I'm voting for you. What have you done?" Like I've done more over the 8 years than a lot of my components did in their whole career, not getting paid as a volunteer. So it wasn't like when Randy stepped down, here's an opportunity to run for alderman. This is what I do. I mean, if you guys can look under what Common Ground does, that's my main group I usually work with because they believe in getting stuff done and not who gets the credit for it as long as it gets done. So that's why I kind of stick with that organization.
Are they endorsing you?
They can't because it's a nonprofit, it'll mess up their 5 years old.
Okay.
So it's one of those things.
Okay. Ewok says Milwaukee already small. He said already little, and you made your Milwaukee experience smaller. Ernest, I see this is what I would tell you. I had a father who worked most of the time up north in like the jobs that he would do, right? Mm-hmm. So my father took us everywhere. You name a suburb, you name a smaller town, you name a side of this city. My father worked all over. I've been all over this city, all on the south side, everywhere. The point I was trying to make was that we had a neighborhood that was nurturing to us. It had what we needed in it. It had black businesses, it had barbershops, we dealt with each other. Our money stayed in the community. So It wasn't about me making the city small. It was about having a home base that was comfortable. Like if I can go up to Phillip and play basketball, or I can go to the Tot Lot, or go to Green Bay, or go to Atkinson Park, or go to Franklin, or go to Garden Homes. Why the fuck do I need to go all the way out to Lindbergh? I mean, or I can go to Lindbergh. Why the fuck do I need to go all the way out to Esterbrook? It's just, I mean, why let's go to Silver Spring and go play basketball. Robe has 90 courts. It wasn't about making the experience smaller. And I roamed. I mean, me and Kamar knew each other for over 30-some years. We're not from the same neighborhood. Eventually, I ventured out. I went to other places. I'm just saying I came from a comfortable neighborhood. Well, you know how that community was when we was growing up. It was where you going? Where you going?
Hey, most neighborhoods in Milwaukee was like that though back then.
Right. So it wasn't about making the city small.
Kind of city too.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And I'm not, Kamar, I understand like people like had in their neighborhoods, they said, nah, man, this was the spot and this is where we went and this the yeah, it was like that then when Milwaukee really had common unity in the community. You're right. Everybody got, because I hear brothers say, man, I grew up on Burla and he was the shit. I'm like, really? Burla? Oh, okay. God bless you. But they say, nah, it was fly. Like y'all shit was. So it was cool. Let me see. He says, okay, this is Jesse. He said, that's good. We only needed 100 for city council, aka alderman. and 300 for mayor. In my experience, you can get double in order to get on that ballot. They had me curing for, I think you mean counting, I think, for over a week. He said, "How do you not know where Jenkins barbershop? Why do I need to know the location of every barbershop in the city? Do you know where Shape and Shear was?
Hey,
do you know where?
Man, that's it's just depend on where you grew up. You know what I mean? Because you grow up some places at certain barbershops you went to. You know what I mean? There's certain grocery stores you went to. There's certain everything you frequent with. You know what I mean? I don't think you got to know.
Well, he's asking me because I told him I didn't. I had the same barber from the age of 3 to 23. Like, I don't. Why am I going to Jenkins? I don't know. I didn't go to Jenkins, bro. I didn't know mean I don't know the city just because I didn't go to Jenkins to get my haircut. And it's a million. Like, you might not know where Ebony Man is, and Kamar, that was y'all barbershop in y'all hood. Like, so everybody got we had one over there on Atkinson forever. I forget the name of it. It's been so long ago. I'm just saying, like, everybody. Barbershops everywhere, man. Them old black dudes had them barbershops. You go and that's where you heard the most shit at. You go in the barbershop. But yeah, man. Back to the Randy and his campaign. I mean, I want to support you, but I also want to ask you because Khalif announcing that he wasn't going to run anymore, in which he had done. I would say he was for a minute. All right, he was very vocal and very visible. Khalif came up when he was a county supervisor with the idea of the Office of African American Affairs, which is something else now, the Office of Accountability or something like that. And then does the city still operate their Office of African American? I don't think theirs ever got off the ground, but Khalif came in with a lot of thunder. He did the Hip Hop Week and all of this, and then I hear that there's a looming investigation for mass corruption downtown, and he say, "I'm out." I don't know. It's $80,000-$90,000 a year. It's got to be real cool to be and he could have ran on name recognition alone and got reelected.
Right.
So I don't know if this looming investigation, because what I keep hearing from these birdies, it'd be on my windowsill in the morning when I awake. Is some Fed investigations coming for some corruption downtown. Have you heard anything about that?
I heard the same thing, and that's why it costs a lot to run a campaign, and like the last time I kind of single-handed supported my own campaign and gets you in debt. So I was waiting to say, okay, what are you going to do, bro? If you're not going to run, let me know. So I went ahead and declared. And then once he finally said he wasn't running, I went down. When I declared, stopped at his office, he wasn't in. I left his message, hey, can you tell Miss Autumn Rainey give me a call? And that Thursday, he sent his press release out, and I hit the ground running. So far as why, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of different reasons why he stepped down. As a human being, I just text and say, bro, are you okay? Just because I care for my.
You have a relationship with him, so you actually know him.
I know him as we probably talked in the last 8 years. Once he appointed me 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah. So just those 3 times was like the recommendations we made from. I chaired this traffic and safety, and I had got 10,000 from AAA, and we were going to use it in my opinion, I was going to use it to educate the kids about the school safety. Remember, we were kids, we had that coloring book, how to cross the street, but they choose to give it to take it easy. That campaign that Donovan had. So that was it. That me saying, bro, don't let them convince you to take this money for something that we're gonna have no outcome from. We give it to the police department. They have a bigger budget as it is. Why are we getting more money?
I think he kind of got in a little trouble too when at first he was down with the slaughterhouse being in Century City, and then once the people spoke up, he was kind of like, nah, they don't really want this, and I think that kind of soured his rise. You notice they haven't come up with no big ideas for Century City since. Once the people in that neighborhood said no slaughterhouse.
And I think that's real easy because, I mean, when you look at it, all the jobs are in the suburbs. All the workers are in Milwaukee. So when we cut the Bucks a deals, we should cut them a deal. Say, you bring that to Milwaukee. We have the personnel to help you run your business. But nobody's made that connection. Everybody's separate because they busting people out there to work, but they get treated like trash. I mean, it's real bad when you
Well,
get.
that's why they want you to take affordable housing out there so you can be closer to your job.
Yeah,
Right. And
that's
when we
not gonna be
get
the
your ass
answer.
out
But
there,
they
it's
still,
a
yeah,
wrap.
exactly. You on an
He
island
said
by yourself.
he said it was across the street from the Ritz restaurant. Man, shout out to them. Like I, I know where the Ritz is. I don't. That wasn't, once again, in our neighborhood. There were so many restaurants.
Hey, Gail, I think you probably know where Jenkins is. You just didn't know that was Jenkins.
Right.
I probably knew it was a barbershop,
You
right?
know
Like,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you said, right across the street from the Ritz. Everybody know that barbershop right there.
I never got my hair cut there. I think that was
Me
my
either,
fault.
but I just knew it was a barbershop there. I didn't, you know what I mean? Back in the day, I knew it was called Jenkins, but I forgot since then. When they said that, it dawned on me, like, oh yeah, that's what Jenkins is. You know what I'm
I
saying?
went once, and I went on the end of Jenkins' career, and he wasn't as sharp as he used to be, and I stopped going.
Gave you the step, the Gumby.
Yeah.
I said I want a Caesar. What'd you say? But no, I listen. We went to church in the hood, and like always, our church was always in the, and so I see barbershops and restaurants and all this stuff, but once again, my parents were particular about where we went to get where y'all want to go eat. So and so and so. You had 3 options. We wasn't finna, my dad, I ain't finna drive all the way around the goddamn city. Now make up your mind. So I guess my mother didn't favor their food because she didn't say let's go there. Now we'd even go as far as Golden Chicken, the cop shop, because she said they have good chicken. So sometimes my father used to drive down on 27th, but we just wasn't, Red Snapper was our go-to spot in our neighborhood. That's where you want fish, you go to Red Snapper, right? Like, you know what I mean? So go to Lyle's. Fuck George Webb and go to Lyle's. Everybody went to Lyle's on Green Bay. So, if you was there, you would be familiar. We even had Perkins is right on Capitol, right? Like, so, and I mean, it's a Flips chicken wings. If I go all the way back, it wasn't nothing but it was restaurant.
That was the thing. That's the good thing about back in the day. You know what I mean? In the black neighborhoods, everything was there. Everything was what we needed. It was there. Yep. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's weird because you go to the grocery stores that's in the hood. You notice how fucked up the food is. You know what I mean? How much older it is and worse condition it is.
Man. And Kamar, a lot of that stuff was black owned.
Yeah.
When you talk about a Ritz, or you talk about, I think Ritz was black owned, but Perkins definitely was. And these barbershops and beauty salons where people went were black owned businesses. And we used to go to Audio Vibes on Capitol for years. All these records and tapes. We wasn't going to the mall, to the record store. We could run up to Audio Vibes.
Yeah, I remember Audio Vibe. We used to pull down there so often.
Yeah, man. We used to rock. That's where I went and got all my hip hop, man. And what's the name? Larry K. Miles. With the deep ass voice, he used to be on the radio. He used to be in there. What you fellas looking for? Like, damn, this nigga voice deep. He said in Denver, they cure your signatures to get you on the ballot. Okay, so if someone gives a fake name or a false address, it won't count if they're not registered to vote at the address that they gave and by the name. Okay. So he said I had a bunch of black people sign petitions, some of which were Muslim, and they didn't count them. It was devastating having to run as a write-in this time around. Wow. Some disqualifying signatures. Said, glad Randy didn't have those problems and was able to get on the ballot. I wish him all the best with his run.
Thank you.
I echo that sentiment. Mama Jenkins says, how do you feel about enforcing more neighborhoods, black clubs? I'm sorry. How do you feel about enforcing more neighborhoods, block clubs, and enforcing the 7th District Police Department to be more visible in the district and have a better relationship within the community? There you go. That's a good one.
Well, I don't think we can force people to do a block club because if you enforce it, it's not going to go well. People are
supporting. I would think she meant supporting the block club.
Yeah. I think that's the main key. I believe in doing what works, and what works is those block clubs. But the main thing is that we got to get people to build relationships in their neighborhood first. We still have neighbors that don't know each other, so that's what it comes out to. Go back to those block parties and things like get people to the house to know each other, to look out for each other, and that's the best way to start is building relationships with people to get there. As far as the 7th District Police Station visible, it's a matter of having that conversation with the captain. Like, hey, this is what we expect. We're doing this as a team, and bringing those block clubs in there, the captains in there, and say, hey, this is what we want. You work for us.
Man,
And a lot of that problem is that because, like I said, if the cops don't stand in the city, they got no vested interest in it.
Okay. Yeah, that police thing with black people is crazy. Because I'm black people, we don't rock with the police. I mean, younger black people were more really like really serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Older people who, like I said, are homeowners and been there and really want order, they said, no, we got to talk to them. But the Milwaukee police, the problem with them is we just had some people on here. Shout out to Sean Moore, who brought the brother on with his mother, who had called and given information about a known shooter, and they came and retaliated and shot up her home and was threatening to murder her. And then Milwaukee police, I only got 5 days for you over here, whatever. So people in the community, it's documented that they haven't done a good job of protecting people who are willing to work with them in the community.
Right.
So
didn't the police tell the shooter who told?
That, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it was that kind of vibe. Like, so, yeah, it's hard to get the police and us on the same page is tough, and rightfully so. I mean, black people, we should. Police in Milwaukee been clowning for years, and even when they get in trouble and there's a lawsuit, we say, "Yay, he got a civil suit." Dumbass, you paying it, taxpayer.
Right. Because they don't even stay in the city, so they don't even pay it.
No,
it's not system at all.
Right, and they're not vested if they don't stay in the city.
Right.
Vaughn L. Mays in the chat room. What up, Vaughn? He says it's a lot of people running in this district again. Scratching my head. It's crazy. The only person I know personally or from being out community wise is Ken Hughes. Not familiar with all the other candidates. We just need somebody who's going to be accessible and prioritize stakeholders like myself, being I do so much in the district. There you go. There's the grassroots leadership.
I agree with that. I just feel like we should be happy we should always be happy that it's new people running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that get opportunity for new ideas.
This is true.
Right.
And I'm familiar with Ken Hughes, Pastor Ken. He was, we did book bag giveaways with him one time. He's always been active in the community. He's a black entrepreneur, got the hot dog restaurant in the North Avenue Marketplace, I believe. I thought he had one downtown too. I don't know if it's still there. As much as I love Chicago style hot dogs, I still ain't really even got to go up there yet. So I'm gonna have to go up there with my fat ass. Vaughn says the district ain't safe and safe and sound say people don't feel safe or want to do block clubs anymore. It's not an enforceable thing. People have to want to do it. Man, I was just going to ask you because Safe and Sound, who I used to work with, they're actually located in that district now, correct? Because they're off, what is that, Fond du Lac?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That's community advocate.
No, Safe and Sound's headquarters is over there too, though, now.
Well, okay.
It's not downtown because Haida's gone. Because when I worked for Safe and Sound, we were in the Haida building downtown. Like you actually had a badge, and I used to go in places and forget to flip it, and it'd say Haida, and people would look at me and say, "This motherfucker police." High intensity drug trafficking areas. They left Milwaukee. He said the district and Safe and Sound. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking Safe and Sound because I know that they relocated. Shout out to my boy Dante, who's over there. You might know. No, Tay left. He was never with the Boys and Girls Club. I was about to say, I thought you knew. The Tay was with Running Rebel.
Right. And that's the thing, though. When people say they haven't seen people in the community or do anything work, the community is big. And if we all work in the same silos, how can we get anything done? I mean, if we're going to list, okay, what have I done? My list will outweigh plenty of people's lists. I'm talking about securing millions of dollars to have things work out in the 7th district. And that means I'm doing nothing. Seeing the things you see happen that you figure where did it come from? People are working those things. We're going after.
I don't think he was saying that. I think he was saying there's a lot of people running, and the only one he's familiar with through his works is Pastor Ken. I don't know if he's saying you wasn't doing nothing or.
Okay.
I think he was more or less saying this is who I'm familiar with because I don't know all of the people who are running. So unless it's Aisha Griffith because she running for everything. That sister is. I really want to get her on here so bad. I've been trying to get her on here when she ran under Not the White Man's Bitch. I was trying to get her on here, man. I'm trying to get her on here. If you know her, tell her to come on Outlaw Radio. Sharon Evans said MPD is on some blue flu stuff. See, there we go. That's that. Man, it's tenuous, man. Especially in them neighborhoods, man, down there. And if them youngsters see you talking to, man, he with them people. They don't give a fuck about what else. Man, you work with them people, man. I can't fuck with you. That's what they'll tell you that. I mean, I've seen it a million times where somebody's really doing well and they're going out, but working with them people. And we just can't we can't trust them. We can't trust them. Right? Like they're just man, we got lawsuits right now sitting on the skewer. You know, where youngster went, swallowed some dope, and the cops knew about it. They let that young brother die. He said, I'm gonna call an ambulance. And dude told him, I swallowed, he's throwing up. This white dude throws him back in the cell. Look at what happened to my homeboy Terrell Thomas down at the county. Like we have a million reasons to look side-eye at police when they come and say, help us. We like, so I don't know how you mend that relationship. It'll take somebody with better mediation skills than myself. Right. That's all I'm saying. And as an older person, I think you got to figure out how to kind of, because what Shaft say, either you too blue for the brothers or too black for the badge, right? Samuel L. Jackson hit that line walking, boy. I was like, go ahead, Sam. He said, this is Vaughn. He says, I've seen more black people going into law enforcement recently. Okay. He said, and I did a great mediation with District 7 on a racial issue between a black and white neighbor recently that went well. But that's the importance of prioritizing stakeholders. I agree. I agree with that. I think I think that's very poignant. Stakeholders matter, man. Especially those homeowners. Like, and I just think the nature of the community has kind of made older people say, I don't got time for this shit. Right. Because they don't really got, you got your music up, you just with your weed burning. They're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna lock my door. You don't really see a lot of them engaging because they're just like, man, these kids, man. And a lot of our kids are so disrespectful because they didn't grow up with the same kind of grandparents and parents that we had, because we had them old Southern grandmothers and them old Southern mothers who a kid would get smacked in his shit. You didn't really pow. And it don't matter who kid it is. Right. Like, damn, he lived down the street. That ain't even your kid. You just went to hitting everybody. He said, do you support qualified immunity? That's a overstanding question. Do you, if you were to be given a chance to speak out on qualified immunity, where would you stand with it?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
If you were given the opportunity to like, they said, okay, we're trying to put together some legislation to get rid of this qualified immunity, where would you stand on it?
Oh, get rid of it. I mean, I think everybody needs a fair share. And I know especially Vaughn was mentioned about the shareholders. We have a lot of people in the community doing great work, but they get no funding. Community block grants going everywhere else. We need to actually go back and revisit all this block grant money and say, if you're not doing anything, guess what? Your dollars get cut. You shouldn't get them same money every year, and you're doing nothing, have no outcomes of it. You just feeding people that shouldn't be getting fed.
You hit that in that community development block grant money, which is fairly allocated. It might be up to $25 million now. I know the Common Council used to have a whole lot of say in who it went to. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because that's where you had to. When I was with Safe and Sound, you submitted your RFP through Safe and Sound, and then kind of passed it along to the Common Council. I don't know if they're still in control of it, like, because I was with Safe and Sound years ago. It was a long time ago.
They have a say.
Okay. He said Safe and Sound has a new location near Park Lawn Church. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's what I said. I know that they have relocated, because I seen when they took the building, and when they got this building, and so I remember. I know they're not downtown. When I was with them, they were on Michigan, I think. Like I said, we were in the Haida building. It was crazy that they had a representative from every law enforcement office in Wisconsin, right? Like, so there were certain doors, certain hallways you couldn't go in because they would be bringing informants in. Oh. And they didn't want you to see who they were bringing in. Like, we couldn't use the underground parking garage because that's where they took when they got somebody, who likes to have conversations. And they didn't want nobody to see them. I'm for real. Like, we had, because you had your badge got you through, and you get to certain doors and be like, damn, why I can't get in here? And they're like, well, no, you ain't supposed to. I went through the wrong door when I first started. They called me right to IT real quick. Like, let me adjust your badge. You wasn't supposed to. My bad. Shit. I opened the door. It was all kinds of cubicles, and they was like, "Can we help you?" I was like, "I think I'm in the wrong room." They politely walked me right back to that door. Like, let me see your badge again. Send me right to IT. Get your shit straight. Um, he says, I don't mean the other candidates aren't doing anything. I was just saying I'm not familiar with anyone's aside from Ken. That's what I thought you were saying, my brother.
Mhm.
Mama Jenkins said, I do understand about block clubs. However, they do help save your block and keep the hood rats from destroying your hoods. Safe and Sound works with the police department. Last summer, they came out, but they never came back to talk to us. Yeah, because they do the out all night. That's what we did, where we went just all the police districts did games and stuff like that late
Mhm.
into the night where kids can. We did out all night. I was running all over the city with hot hamburger buns and shit, and because I was over the community partners, the people who actually did the distribution of the resources. I was their manager, and so that was a short walk in the park. It wasn't long, trust me. I was up out of there. I went in the wrong drive and looked at some money. My ass was gone. What the fuck you doing in that drive? I thought nah. You can go ahead. We can walk you to your car. I was so disappointed. But I learned a lot while I was there. Vaughn said the one young lady, Jessica, I believe I saw her on Facebook and looks like she's been doing a lot. Not sure how we've missed each other all this time. Um, Dion. He said, why do everyone think they can drain the swamp? I don't know, Dion. I don't. Why do we always we're very opposite. It's glass half full, right? Right. Um, Black people becoming the police don't solve shit. This is Ewok in Arizona. He said the minute they try to be good apples, they get targeted. The ones who don't make it play blind. Okay. Yeah, man. Once you become a cop, because you don't want to be in a position where your life is on the line. And if this dude's got to watch your back, man, you know what I'm saying? Like he wake up dead. It's like, man, I missed him. I shot back, but I missed. I bet you did, Officer Donarski. Damn, you just let Officer Jackson get murdered. Shout out to anybody named Jackson that's a cop. Said, thank you, Randy, for asking my question about Thank you, Randy, for answering my question about qualified immunity. I'm against it as well. Ewok said, my nephew is MPD, almost a year in, and I hate it because he's a true good guy. Well, if he's a brother, maybe he can affect some change, man. Maybe he can bring, because listen, honestly, what Black people got to understand is we do need some of us in these positions, man, because, if you ain't from the community, you ain't vested, and you riding through the community and it's situations you could just kind of mediate and put to bed. We need that as opposed to these scary ass white dudes who grew up in Oconomowoc that done came in here and they scared, and the first thing they do is go to shooting.
They just want action.
All right, and shit, they scared. 3 big bulls. These 3 of the biggest black guys I've ever seen in my life. What do you think he gonna do? He said, freeze! Like he's scared. Shit. Let me see. My chat room is popping. He said, I agree. I was just mentioning it because I've noticed multiple Facebook friends popping up on the sheriff or MPD forces. Not really sure why the surge in joining, but some people do believe they can change something internally. Although it's pretty obvious you can't. He said, I do, however, appreciate having good people we can approach or trust to be more for us in situations when we need them. I have one of my kids who I coached at Washington High School who played football for me. Actually, a really good kid. And he went on to go and play at Concordia. He's now a sheriff deputy. I seen him. He got his bachelor's degree. He went to the sheriff. I think his father had been a police officer, but he was a good kid, man. And he was one of them stories, one of them success stories as a coach where you find this kid who ain't really necessarily that good, but he's a good kid. So he responds to good coaching because I made him a killer, at least for the city conference. He was out here smacking. Coach Barnes, man, I hated you the first day I met you. I wanted to kill you, but you became the best coach I ever had. Like, I'm knowing, man. But yeah, I wasn't a nice guy during camp. Look, it's 95 degrees. I don't want to be here no more than y'all. So yeah, I was an ass as a coach at first. But once you in my group, I got y'all. We straight. We gonna have some fun. So yeah, he was one of my. I had a couple, about 5 or 6 kids like that through my coaching time where They end up going to school and thought they would never see a college campus. But come on, just listen at what I'm telling you, man. My kids always make fun of me saying, "Stop saying listen at me," because I'll be like, "Listen at me." Like, just listen to me, Dad. What's wrong with you? Safe and Sound sounds like Safe City in Denver. They most definitely work with the police. Yeah, I know they do. I used to go to the district meetings all on the South Side everywhere. And because they would meet with the block clubs. I used to go to the Homicide Review Commission in the Hillside, in the center, down in Hillside. It was horrible, man. They didn't tell me what this shit was. I go in there, they gonna go over every homicide in the district and tell you. I'm like, dude, that's a dead body. Like, just showing like a slideshow, talking about what happened. I'm like, this is some bullshit. I don't want to do this. Yeah, they definitely work with them people. That's why I said we were in the HIDA building. So if you were out here at that time and you knew what HIDA was, and I go in the liquor store on a Friday after I get off work with my badge on, and everybody's quiet all of a sudden. And my brother looked at me and said, "Turn that goddamn thing on or take it off." They think we the police. I'm like, maybe they won't fuck with us dead. But yeah, John Fletcher said, quick question. What are the needs of the community? Is there one common goal? I guess that's what I would be saying. Like, out of all of the different problems in that area, in that district, what's the first one that you want to come out the gate swinging at?
Well, since I will be representing people, what I hear the most is just communication. People want to get back to that, and then second, then the public services. People want to know why I got to wait 2 months for a garbage can. Little stuff like that. That to them is important because that's what they pay their tax dollars to do. Okay. So that's the main thing I'm hearing at doors. Will you get back to me? Can I get this done? Can you do this? Can you make sure our trash is picked up? Can you make sure our light is replaced? And the second thing is public safety. Everybody want to be safe. And then the homeowners want to make sure the houses are taken care of, make sure their neighbor house take care of, that's not dropping their property value. So those are the top three things that I hear the most when I'm knocking on doors and talking to people.
Okay.
That's the question I get asked. What are you going to do about that?
Don't you think, though, like, that's what I'm saying with relationships. So we got this brother Vaughn over here who does a lot of work over there. Right. And he mentioned Pastor Ken. There's a lot of individuals. I don't know them all because I'm not on that side of things anymore. But there's a lot of people who do. So are you able to just go and get all these people and say, listen, I ain't tripping on nothing. All of us, let's all of us come to the table. But then when you do this, how do you keep it from turning into a speech contest? Because like I said, when we get in these rooms, brothers come in with their dashikis on and they beads on. Don't let it be summer. They got their toes out and it turns into a X-Clan song. And I'm just sitting there like, this shit ain't legislation. This is not, that's not good. That's not the answer to the question. I just remember asking community supervisor Wyshawn, being in a meeting with him. And I'm in the meeting with him and the leader of the Black Panthers. And shout out to the leader, the general. He was fire and brimstone. And Wyshawn kept saying, okay, what do you want? And then he did another. Okay, well, what do you guys want? Well, what do you need? And I said, well, hold on. We want to take underused park pavilions in underserved communities and turn them into social service hubs and call them community restoration centers. He said, and that started it. It's still sitting on the county books as a passed law right now. They voted it in. Nobody's jumped on it. But I'm just saying we have to have an ask when we go to them. I know we want to go in there and let them know what we dealing with. They was shooting outside my house last night, and all them boys selling drugs, and they smoking their weeds, and the politicians just like, we know. What the fuck you want us to do about it? So we just gotta figure out what our ask is. Right. He says, this is Vaughn. He says, Safe and Sound is like the nonprofit community outreach branch of MPD. People don't really know that. Work very closely with them. They work, very closely. Right. So for what it's worth, that's what I'm saying. We were in the HIDA building when I was down there. So it's like they would have a meeting with they had somebody from the Coast Guard. They got to represent from the FBI. Well, HIDA's gone now, but this is what that was. There were centers where they would have somebody so they could all put their information together and say, okay, this dude's moving dope in. How's he getting it in? Was he bringing it on the expressways and the byways? Where is he distributing that on the block? And they would have one big meeting, and then they would go do a raid. That's why they went at the homies on Atkinson 19. They went after them. They were so happy, like, yeah, we went over here. We got all these people. The funny thing is, I'm watching the story and I'm seeing 7 or 8 dudes who they didn't get, who was hustling while they was doing the newscast. Like, this dude, he still ain't taking no day off. He in the back doing 2 for 15. We laughed about it in the bar. Mama Jenkins said, "What committee would you like to be on and why?" Shout out to Mama Jenkins.
Okay, for sure, the Public Safety Committee.
Okay.
And that's only because that I'm out on the front lines. I see what makes a difference, and I got to feel what they need. Some of our fixes in the city is not really hard. It's just we have a lot of people that our people of our age, everybody wants to get credit for what goes on instead of just making it happen. That's one. The zoning committee, that helps us weed out. That way, help me weed out people that's not really part of our community, but in our community, like the stores and things like that. So I think those two would be my top two that I would really like.
Zoning and personal and safety, you said.
Yeah, Public Safety Committee.
Okay.
And the Health Committee. So all that's in time in one.
Speaking
I think
of
there's a lot of work
personal
to those
safety,
two. Yeah.
Speaking of personal safety, y'all hit up my sponsor, EPU Personal Defense. Go to their website, EPUSDS.com. EPUSDS.com. I shared a beautiful graphic today from EPU. It's dope. Check it out. Holler at them. It's not karate, but it's, some of us got to get comfortable actually just throwing one of these things right here. It's easy. So for some of us, it ain't nothing to do this. Some people are like, oh my God, what should I do? They need to go and learn how to, put foot in ass, as they say. He said, come see me. Come see me, sir. Public safety. That's right, man. Listen, because it's almost 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock, we got to flip into the monkey shit. But I want to get Randy Jones. This is my guest tonight. If you're just tuning in, he's running for alderman in the 7th district, which is a huge district. Got a little 53206, got a little bit of everything in it. Mm-hmm. Basically, it goes from Sherman Park back up to Hampton. I think that's in terms of north and south, that's a good way to put it, right?
Right.
And east to west, we're talking
60th,
going back east to where?
To 20th.
Ooh, that's a lot of space. So if I know some of y'all are always curious about, am I gonna vote? Should I go vote? And people, you need to know your district as well, because I don't live in your district, so I couldn't vote for you. Mm-hmm. But Kamar is in your district. Rel ain't in there either. But we got Mama Jenkins who's in that district.
Right.
Vaughn is very active over there. I think you need to speak to people who matter. Like you, Mama Jenkins is a good look for you. I think Vaughn is a good look for you. I think anybody else past, well, we can't go to Pastor Ken because he's running too. He's like, what you want from me? A hot dog?
Hey, you also mentioned the Sherman Phoenix. I got a store in the Sherman Phoenix, so
okay.
If we can connect on that way to help you out some kind of way, let me know. We could chop it up and figure something out.
What's your store, bro?
House of Vitality.
Okay.
He was late, so he didn't do his intro, because when he be late, he sit on his energy when he's late. He be a little selfish, like it's our fault he late. I don't want to hear shit. I ain't saying my slogan to me. That's how black people be, man. That's how they be.
Oh shit.
But no, Randy, do you gotta? So if people want to get in touch with you, because I want the people right now, because I definitely want you to contact Mama Jenkins.
Right.
And so how do people contact you other than Facebook? Do you got a website set up? How we working? You got socials?
Nope, they can give me a call. They can reach me on Facebook too. Just Randy Jones. There's probably about 2 pages out there, but if you can just punch Randy Jones, and you'll see my candidate page. That I'm trying to reach out to people that way to let them know where I'm gonna be at and things like that. So that, and then again, I welcome people to call me directly on my phone number. That's 477-6442, area code 414.
Okay. I'm gonna need what I would recommend you do, because we're friends, so you can
Right.
share the show. So
Mhm.
if I was you, I would put my contact information on there and just kind of say, I'm Randy Jones. This was me on Outlaw Radio. Give me a call at this number. Because it's very hard. We just went through this. Like I said, shout out to my homie Vince, my man 50 grand. Sometimes you got to embrace this here internet.
Right.
This social media is a son bitch. I know people feel like you know what? I don't even do social media. And then they stand back and look like it makes them deep and shit. Damn, you super uninformed. This is where all the information is. I'm sorry. The internet and social media, some of it's bullshit, but some of it's you like, you know what I'm saying? So when you don't embrace it, because I guarantee you it's more people in that district on Facebook and Instagram than it is that's going to come to Sherman Perk. Right. And I would definitely holler at that brother at that grocery store because that's a power spot. And the Sherman Phoenix, you already got a constellation. Got the Big Dipper. Like, I roll up in safe and sound and come, I don't know what I know back in the days, their ask was certain amounts of money from people. So if you were a block club and you had X amount of dollars in your grant, right? Like we appreciate a contribution. Thank you kindly. Right. I'm not trying to put nobody on. That's what I'm saying. I was on the wrong drive one day and I said, oh shit, I don't think I'm supposed to be looking at this. And they knew I was on that drive because I got asked, like, why were you on this? That's not even supposed to have. Y'all the ones who left it open. Shit. I found out everybody's salary. Am I really supposed to be looking at this? It wasn't long. It wasn't long after that. It wasn't long. Biggie said your rain on top was short like leprechauns. They got me the fuck up out of there. For real. But yeah, so hey, holler at this brother, man. Like I say, vet the candidates. My familiarity with Pastor Ken is just because of the book giveaway. I know when I was with the Panthers, we used to do a lot of stuff with him. Like he was cool. He was somebody in that neighborhood. Because his church was over there off Center Street. I believe it's like 20, maybe 21st or something like that in Center. And so, yeah, we went down there giving out book bags and it was almost a fight. It was almost a brawl for it all. Like we had to really do security because people was tripping for them book bags. But I know he's been active in that community. He's run before. So yeah, y'all holler at Randy Jones. Randy, I don't know if you want to just kind of, because we probably got about an hour left and I got to go through some stuff. I don't know if you want to stick around just in case people poke in and see you. I don't know what you got planned. I don't know. I
got to fill out my candidate forms for these unions questionnaires. Okay. So that's what my project is tonight.
Okay. Well, you got to open invitation if you ever want to come back, man. I rocks with you. Of course. So I say it's man, anybody who was there, anybody who was doing like supporting me back then, because nobody knows who I am now. I know Milwaukee has proven to me they don't give a shit about me and Outlaw Radio. They've proven that to me multiple times, right? The city is like, fuck you. I get it. But back then, nobody, especially, I just was inviting people, and certain people will respond. Lena Taylor, Mandela Barnes, who was young coming up, DC. Like I said, James Matthew, all these people, all of a sudden, I just got on a roll, and I was just bringing people in, and you was one of those people. So shout out to you, and thank you to you. I always appreciated it, and that's why I say you're welcome to come back anytime, man. And I do believe in vetting the candidates. You're right, Paris. We don't do a good job as voters. Like we're not informed voters. This low voter turnout rate is the only thing you can count on to be consistent. And as big as your district is, it should be way more buy-in.
Way more.
It should be way more buy-in. Because the only semblance.
Sherman Park Association. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro. You the guest.
Yeah, the Sherman Park Association is planning on having a forum. So that's one of the good things I say. I'm like, we gotta have a forum. We just can't be whoever's first person knock your door. I said, I want to earn people vote.
Okay.
Because if I earn people vote, then they'll respect me.
That's what's up.
So that's my main thing that I can't wait till there's more forums out there. We need more than one. I don't know. I can't host them because I'm a candidate. And people are, well, you host it. I can't host it. People understand that.
Yeah, we got me and Chris Johnson. We got our ass whooped trying to do a forum. In the last election, nobody was messing with us, man. And then like people was giving us these outrageous rates. It's like, what? As we just said, nah, man, because it's like it's power players. Like this city is siloed. So they like, nah, y'all ain't, y'all nobody know y'all ain't finna. Who gonna be the moderator? The Outlaw guy? Hell no. No, sir. We passed. Right? Like, I was listening to your show one time. They were talking about eating booty. Hey, you ain't finna do it. That wasn't my fault though. I'm blaming that on Rail. That wasn't my fault. That on Rail. So yeah, my brother, come back whenever you want, man. Like I said, as we get closer, and especially if you find out about a forum or something like that, or if you need to reach out to, obviously the brother Vaughn is on here, Mama Jenkins is on here, so you can go and look at these comments and just click on it and contact them directly like that.
Okay.
Yeah, solidarity is the key for me, right? Like I believe we all should, we should all know each other. We should all be able to connect, because what one end doesn't supply, the others can. Kamar or Rail, do y'all have any questions? Kamar, you in the district specifically, so you got any questions you want to ask the brother? Or
no, y'all pretty much covered everything, man. It don't take me much to get the vibe of somebody.
Okay, there we go.
Appreciate it.
Raising vibrations and elevating thought, as he normally says. Jesse Paris, he says, yes, vet candidates and also follow the money from their campaign donations and funders as well. That will dictate who they will be working for once they get in office. Ain't that the truth? Follow the money always. And people don't know this.
The handlers are. That's what I was told.
Yeah, special interest groups and lobbyists run politics. The bigger you get, the more they get involved. And you can go and see who contributed to whose campaign. You can go online and check. Just Google it. Campaign donations. They'll take you right to the website. Mama Jenkins said, thanks for sharing and look forward to seeing you. We'll call you soon.
Great. Thank you.
All right. He said you should moderate a forum, though. I should, Paris, I could. I don't know. The Outlaw thing is just, it's just like when we were trying to really pitch to get on the radio, right? Like we do on podcasts and it gets blue sometimes, right? And so, motherfuckers sometimes, right? Ass and shit like that. And I guess they feel like, well, he's not smart enough to not curse, right? Like, and so we even went on WNOV and did 2 shows, and well, Liz dropped 1 F-bomb, but no, there was no profanity or nothing. But I think what we were talking about was poignant to the point where it was kind of directed at some of the powers that be. So I think that may have made some people kind of like, I'm not rocking with them, or don't give them no backing. But I mean, I got 5 college degrees. You'd be stupid to think I can't. Like I can't come without cussing. Like I don't, not that means shit, because now they saying they company saying fuck a degree now. So whatever. Like that's a whole other show, right? That a bitch. After I done spent all these thousands of dollars, now you're gonna make this shit like it's sweet. No, that shit ain't gonna last. It's not gonna last. But I agree. I agree. I would love to moderate some of these forums because, I'm one of them. I'm from the community. I've been out here. I've been working with people. All I do is work with people, right? That's what I do professionally. So speaking to people's issues in the community is something I'm very, very, very skilled at. And but I'm not in the clique. That's why I want to talk about Cat Williams. I mean, everybody else is talking about the shit. We touched on it on the last show, but I had no idea that this would become the firestorm that it has. Like we kind of discussed it on the last show. But it was, what is that? They said he's almost at 30 million views. Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay, right? Skip. Skip. I don't need no more Skip. Got my own show now, Skip.
Fuck Skip.
Right. In that order. But this goes to show, and I connected this to Milwaukee because we always complain about the cronyism in Milwaukee. We always talk about the go along to get along gang. We talk about Negroes who are overly friendly with the Republican Party to the point where they, or the Democratic Party, to that nature. And they always seem to get some sort of check or some sort of funding that kind of influences how they move and who they move with. So they become gatekeepers in essence. And so we complain about this and we talk about people hearing someone's idea. And then the next time you hear this, they shit. This is all Cat Williams is talking about. People stealing jokes, people gatekeeping, people using their connections to keep somebody down. And I said, man, how can stand-up comedy reflect what's going on in society as a whole? I think this is what is making this blow up so much. But a couple of people were exposed through this, man. Kamar, how much of the Shay Shay interview have you watched?
All of it.
Okay.
Hey man, I was sitting at the store. You know, that's what I be doing all day. When you know what I mean. I got these things running, and I'm sitting there, and I seen it, and this was the first day, and I had no idea what I was into, and I pushed play on this one. You know what I mean? Right away, Cat went right in. He didn't waste no time, no small talk.
You have a natural allegiance to losers.
Oh man, that shit was hilarious, man. It was hilarious.
But it was poignant at some parts. Like it was where you said, damn.
And he had receipts.
Nobody has said he's lying. Cube said, nah, it wasn't gonna be no rape scene. But no, but then now evidence of all kinds of joke stealing is popping up footage. And I'm like, bruh, did y'all think y'all would not get exposed sooner or later?
Man, there's a lot of joke stealing going on.
Bro, have you seen this? Have you seen the Cat Williams? I don't know how you haven't.
I seen it. I seen it the first day. I mean, I know somebody was talking about it today because I mean, even the Bernie Mac joke was shown to be said by some little cat,
kid. At Showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah. But I was telling folks, I said, sometimes those comedians end up being writers for other comedians. I said, like, I think Paul Mooney and Johnny Witherspoon wrote jokes for Richard Pryor.
Right, there's writing,
so sometimes they may take some of their jokes that they had before and just kind of remold it for the person they writing for. But I do see that everybody was stealing from everybody.
Hey, I think that's a little different. You know what I mean? From Paul Mooney writing jokes for me, you know what I mean, versus me taking somebody just taking some jokes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like these jokes was meant for me. They was written for me to say. You know what I'm saying? So it's my joke now. You know what I mean?
It was a little bit of both. I guess that's the industry.
Yeah, and it's a lot, and they still do that. That's what he was saying about Cedric the Entertainer. He says Cedric don't write.
Man.
Yeah.
Writers.
It almost reminds me of like the rap industry.
Ghostwriters. And gatekeepers. Randy, did you see any of this, or you been too busy on the campaign trail?
No, I haven't seen it. I've heard people talking about it, but I haven't seen much about it. But
you are in for a treat.
Yeah, I did see the Cedric Entertainment, and they matched the two up. I'm like, okay, that is the same joke.
But you know what killed me? I've always thought Sid was super funny, and it wasn't the space shuttle joke that got me. It's the Bomanisha joke that got me.
That's what I seen. Yeah.
Meshack Taylor from Designing Women in 1980. I always thought Meshack Taylor was like a knockoff gay Arsenio. Like back in the days, I never watched nothing he was on because I'm like, oh, that's gay Arsenio. Okay, it was just me.
Damn.
My fault. Ewok, what's going on, my brother? How you doing tonight?
Man, dig it. They talking about Cat Williams just trying to get some exposure for herself because he's going on tour or whatever. Or whatnot.
Okay.
Hey, they can call it what they want, right? He getting it. He popping right now, and he ain't lying. You know what I mean?
And I had to put the truth on the motherfucker multiple times and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, look here, motherfucker. I remember what the fuck is really is was what. You know what I'm saying? Don't come at me with that bullshit. Yeah. And I'm a regular motherfucking person. So the same shit applies to motherfucking Hollywood, man. The truth is the truth. And I think Cat was like 90% telling all the whole truth. Now that other 10% could be some personal shit. But 90% is a good guy. That's an A. God damn it. That's a fucking A if you go to school. You know what I'm saying? And shit, it is what it is. You know, sometimes you gotta put the truth on a motherfucker. Like, fuck it, you know, they don't like it, so what? Oh well, it's still the truth, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, the truth is the truth. And some people talking about, Cat just trying to get some attention. Yeah, Guess what? I think Cat is just telling the motherfucking truth. Motherfucker be bums and shit and get tolerated and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get sick of bums being tolerated. It gets to a point where somebody got to say something. You know what I'm saying? Especially Steve Harvey. He the worst. I ain't gonna. Steve Harvey is a gatekeeper. He the worst bum. He up there. He ain't with Oprah, but as far as being a scammy, schemy, snake ass nigga that'll do anything, Steve Harvey and Oprah, the dirtiest motherfucker, and Gayle King, the dirtiest motherfuckers, the black people that ever was born and known to man.
Wow. Oh, fire.
Now, yeah. Well, who the fuck? How the fuck she gonna put R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, after Michael Jackson died, on her motherfucking disrespectful ass shows on OWN and shit, and trying to bring some garbage up after this man died, and she buddies with Harvey Weinstein, and still ain't said a goddamn word. Come on, man. Common sense. Oprah is a snake. Gayle a snake. Had motherfucking R. Kelly on there.
Okay.
Right.
Man, they some dirty motherfuckers, man. That's dirty.
Right.
That's gatekeeper dirty ass shit.
Or is it just journalism?
Fuck Oprah.
Damn.
No, it's not journalism, man. When it's realism. What I'm talking about is realism. If you can't smell the motherfucking stank and stench coming off Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey with their hypocrisy and shit, and all they do is fuck with black people and shit, and let Harvey Weinstein, he in jail doing time. Oprah ain't said shit.
Oprah trying to protect her ass.
Oprah still quiet behind Harvey Weinstein.
That list is revealing more and more people as we move along. She probably trying to lawyer up like shit, Harvey. Hey, your boy Obama's on there too, though. Young Barry on there too. He ain't been to the island.
That list ain't don't mean nothing.
Hey, we got
all that list says is they caught a flight to the island and shit. They can't tie nobody to fucking no kids on that list. But the list is kind of interesting. It's only interesting.
There's
some of
the information on the list is the accusers, though, saying who did what. Like Cameron Diaz was implicated.
That's where it gets interesting,
right? When it's evolving. Go ahead, Kamar. You was trying to jump in.
No, I was just gonna say, man. You know what I mean. We got to remember too, man. Just because they name on that list, don't necessarily mean they did something.
This is true. He was a money handler.
Because we hear about a lot of people who say that they was like, oh, no, I ain't getting down. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just because they name on that list, we can't just say, you know what I mean? But I feel like soon we'll know.
It's car coming out slowly but surely.
You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, though, I'm going to get off the phone after I call Oprah Winfrey a stanky, coochie, funky ass, motherfucking stinking bitch one more time. Fuck Oprah Winfrey, man. That bitch ain't nothing. And I grew up and thought Oprah Winfrey was somebody powerful as a black man. That bitch ain't worth two dead flies smashed together to me. I'm 50 years old, man. Oprah Winfrey ain't nothing to me. That bitch, I step on her just like I step on some bubble gum, just like she do black people. That bitch ain't worth two dead flies, man. Her and her stinking ass, gay ass friend, Gayle King. I hope both of these pussies turn into fire and dust. Now go. I'm gone.
Wow, he was aggressive. Man,
he sound like what's his name?
He assaulted her lady parts.
He sound like my man's from Denver.
Shay is agreeing with me. No, you talking about actually Shabaka's from LA.
Oh, from LA?
Yeah, Shabaka from LA.
Yeah, he sound like Shabaka.
Yeah, Shabaka. And I want to make that very clear. As in dump. That's Big Reg. What it do, big homie? How you doing, man? Reg, we got Reg is I got my other RC partner on here. Rail is an aficionado as well. He ain't no Jedi yet, but he working his way up, right? Big Reg is from is instrumental in the RC stuff for brothers here. And he's always on GAP reviews, Big Gap. I watch it on YouTube. I'm a black nerd, so yeah, I do RC cars, right? And so Big Reg is one of the people on there. So I'm always on there. I be geek for the conversation because, if you know me, I got like 1,000,001 RCs. And so
I'm trying to figure out how to get a grant to do that STEM for drones and RCs. Shit. Get that grand shit cracking for these kids to learn how to do drones and RCs.
I think it'll be very, very interesting to see the effect on youngsters to really
I
bring
got a
them
drone. I
into it.
need to know how to fly it.
Man, you see, in some states, Walmart got some shit where the drone deliver your package to you. So it's like we gotta learn this drone shit, man, because that's that's where cinematography is going. That's where logistics is going.
And I tell you something else, with what they're trying to do in the automotive industry, starting to understand these electric motors and stuff like that, because brushless remote control cars, the latest innovation is lithium polymer batteries and brushless motors. It's not the old motors that you would see back in the days. So the technology is up there. So, and it's transferring right to full size automobiles. So you start thinking about, okay, differentials and the difference between gas and electric, where electric motors get instant power as soon as you get down on them. So like I have gas RCs and they got to build up RPMs, whereas that electric is gone off the line. And so, yeah, man, I've had several friends come to me and say, dude, you need to be doing something with all this shit, trying to introduce kids to it. I don't got time for kids, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm listen. I'm raising mine. Mine are almost grown, like right. And so, but it will take a lot of patience to get a lot of these kids. And some of them who are hyperactive, if they just got on the radio and drove a hobby grade remote control car, I think it would change their life. I think they say this is the most fun I've ever had. I ain't talking about Walmart shit. We're not talking about Target. I'm talking about something that's fully customizable that you can make into whatever you want, 75, 80 miles per hour. Like, Rail, you seen some of my just, and you like, really? Like, seriously? Like, how fast is that thing going? And Big Reg is one of them speed run brothers who does the 100 miles and up. So I told him we got to hook up, man. I've been trying to bring OGRC to my channel for a long time, so it might be something to it. I don't know if I'd want to do the STEM thing or something. My legs, I'm too old to teach kids now, but I sure would like to, I would like to do the RC thing for Milwaukee because it's be cold. It's cold up here. I feel like we don't get the props that we should because we can't run all year like they do down south. You're right, Jesse. Cat Williams told a lot of truth. I don't know that everything he said was 100% factual, but he did tell a lot of truth. He exposed a lot of people.
Hey, you sure made it sound factual.
He's a very good storyteller. He's a very good storyteller, and you can't say he was drunk or he was high or. And once again, you see certain people reacting, and it's like Faison.
At first, I just thought he was doing some comedian shit. You know what I mean?
Right?
Talking shit, ribbing. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, wait a minute, dog, serious.
I seen Faison, and like Faison hates on everybody. I've always thought Faison, like when he hate on Chappelle, like Chappelle's not funny. He's never been funny. Like, dude, that's hate. But he just blew him completely out the water. Like, dude, you have 0 comedy specials. Like, I got 12 Netflix specials and 19 world tours. Like, you don't got one. There's no recourse. What can you come back and say? He came back talking about, I'm gonna show when he fought when the little kid put him in the headlock and all that, and he's been in trouble. Well, Faison, you had a fight in the airport because some dude spit on you, right? Like, so I mean, it's crazy. Paris is agreeing with Ewok. He said, "Fuck okra," right? This is Shabaka's thing that we always be laughing at. The dump, as in human shit, and I want to make that perfectly clear. Man, every time he say that, Rail look up like he looking for me, and it's always like a smirk on his face. He says it the same way every time. The dump, as in human shit, and I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm gonna take that. I'm taking that, man. I'm gonna start saying, and I want to make that perfectly clear. He said, Kev scared of Oprah, laughing my ass off. Change the subject. Well, I didn't know. I thought you said enough about Oprah. I don't. Did you want to hear more? What was left to be said? Right? Like, I don't. What was left to be said? This this young year has been the year of exposure. Like everybody's getting called out. Like, man, I live in the podverse. That's why Kamar's talking about like just having YouTube on while he's working. I do this a lot while I'm working in my office. I'll just have YouTube on, just watching random videos. I'll sit outside or sit around late at night watching YouTube, and everybody's on the carpet. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, everybody's on the carpet. That's why I said you even seen with Bernie Mac. Just like I said, the abomination joke by Said, I always thought that was the most classic joke I ever heard. But it was almost verbatim to what he said on Designing Women.
Right.
That was really disappointing. I said, damn, Said. After you done came back out and said cat on drugs and cat don't know it. No, motherfucker. We got the video, bro. Like, what the fuck? And as far as Oprah goes, I don't think there's any reason to be scared of her. I don't. She didn't. What did I invest in Oprah? He said she tricked me. Did she trick you? I don't know. What did she trick me to do? I didn't watch her show back in the days. I seen the first Color Purple. Other than that, I never been somebody running around buying the magazine when she had the magazine and her network. Her network had all female programming. I don't know that she tricked me. I just assume anytime somebody's wealthy and black in this country, that is something to it. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard to break that. Yeah, well, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Like, it's hard to break the glass ceiling, man. It's hard to break the glass ceiling as a black person.
Too much money.
Yeah, like how do they allow you? Like, what's the truth to this shit? I mean, all of us are waking up to saying, well, hold on. It's a lot of coincidence, man. This man, Cat Williams, touched almost every black entertainer. He had Ludacris. Ludacris ain't rapped in 30 years. This nigga's on the internet freestyling because Cat Williams somebody seen him at a party.
Hey, dig this, right? I feel like if he mentioned your name and you ain't relevant no more, you better say something now. Get you some relevance too.
I seen Aries Spears and I'm like, Aries, he didn't say your name. Not one time. He didn't say. And then they put the video of Aries made playing with the gay shit where he kissed the dude in the mouth. You're done. Shut up. You're done. You're done. That's what I'm saying. Like, Mike Epps came out and said he was jealous. He said, shit, how you ain't mention my name? I got a special coming out, nigga. I need to.
Everybody who has some shit to say got some gay shit in the movie or something. It's something about what he was talking about they a part of.
Or a stolen joke or something, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I just, like I said, I love my YouTube, right? Because I do go and get to see RC. I watch a lot of RC stuff and that's why I picked up on the brother Big Reg and Gap reviews and all this kind of stuff. So now all of a sudden it's all flooded with cat this, cat that, cat. I'm like, come on, man. So responds to Cat Williams, and nobody has had anything really poignant to say in their response except for, well, the truth, and I know who I am. And Cedric the Entertainer got tough and was talking about and kill all that tough shit. That everybody's like, said, come on, son, come on. Steve Harvey came out. First of all, you got to see Godfrey's impression of Steve Harvey. Oh my goodness. Ridiculous, dude. Just fall on the floor laughing. And then Steve came out with a little, it's like, well, what do you expect? See, the funny part is Kwame Brown did this a couple years ago when it came to the sports, the ESPN and the sports writers and all that kind of stuff. Kwame Brown went in on them and Stephen A. Smith and all of them. So it was when he was Mama's Cooking and all that. And so Cat just came along and just smashed it. Are y'all familiar with pro wrestling? I watched wrestling growing up, right? Remember when we was little, you would watch wrestling and it was always like, is this real or is it not? Right. Remember that? Mm-hmm. But now we've learned that wrestlers had something called kayfabe, right? And kayfabe meant that if you were not in the industry, you will not know the secrets, and that keeps it believable. So if I was a bad guy wrestler and you was a good guy, even if we was best friends, we couldn't be seen anywhere outside the ring together. Right. If we had a storyline going, I had to stay in character. I could never just come on a talk show and be myself. I had to be that character. Right. And they held that true. until Bret Hart exposed them with the, if you know, the Montreal screw job. And once again, I live in the Podverse. Okay. I don't know why I know all this shit. I know some shit I just know. And so I feel like the rap game and now the stand-up comic game is falling victim to the same thing. The K5 is gone. Kayfabe is gone. Because remember, rappers, when we didn't have social media and we didn't have all these media outlets, you didn't know what was going on. You heard the beef or you seen the interview and you was like, oh shit, this shit is real. You didn't know who was a real gangster or who wasn't. And now you know who the producers is, you know who company, you know who his jail records, you know everything about him. So you're like, this shit ain't real. So I'm feeling like now they pull the curtain back on stand-up comedy because we're learning that a lot of your most successful comedians are thieves. And you've been laughing your ass off at them for years, and they probably stole that shit from some brother who was trying to come up. And not only did they steal his joke, they held him down, held him back so he wouldn't expose them. Right? You're talking about Steve Harvey telling and going to producers saying, don't put Bernie Mac in that movie. Give me that role. How you gonna do some shit like that? With a man unit. He said that man had a man unit. I used to love the Steve Harvey show. I loved Regina, but I loved the show, right? But man, it was a great show. I didn't never thought that the high top was a wig. It was funny. Let me see. He says, this is shout out to Earl Henning. He says Cat Williams getting that money. I hope he getting some of it. I hope Shannon is hitting his hand unless he want to be the next dude on somebody else's podcast getting exposed.
Hey, I think Shannon cool like that.
I do too, because this is 30 million views.
I feel like Shannon cool like that. I feel like
how could you not be? How could you not be, Kamar? 30 million views?
That's amazing.
Yikes. And then they pull up the footage of Steve Harvey telling a joke about Michael Clark Duncan in the Planet of the Apes movie, and he's saying for $4 million, I'll be the biggest monkey, and I'll be swinging on a vine, and I'll be walking around. Black people will be embarrassed. And somebody put a caption that said, "This joke didn't age well."
Even the views from the comedians who we talked about who was on that show went up.
Oh, everybody!
Everybody go back to rewatch it.
That's the new game. That's this content creator shit where on YouTube you can get money. On these social media platforms you can get money. You can monetize it. That gives us a little bit more power. Only problem is we still don't own the platforms. Right. So it's once again us singing the songs and dancing, but we don't own the arena or the stage that we own or the record company that's printing our money. I'm printing our records. Said Cat outsmarted Shannon Sharp and everyone else. His skills are more than comedy.
That's the shit that Dame Dash out here trying to teach everybody. Just like back in the day, we used to try to put everybody on about the independent record label. He doing the same. That's what he on now with this shit.
Yeah. It's good to see. I mean, real recognize real. Like I say, what just dealing with our city right now and seeing who's actually getting put on the air, right? And seeing, I'm not saying everybody. Some of y'all ain't got no business with a microphone in front of you, right? I'm not gonna say your names because I'm not a hater. More power to you. Some of you all are listening to your shows and your content, and you just suck. You shouldn't be on the air. But you have a relationship with somebody who has a relationship, and I don't, and I can accept that. That's why it's Outlaw Radio. It is what it is. But I just look and I'd be like, come on, man. Because when we in other major cities, when we got black outlets, they make it so everybody can get in, right? But here we got a tap dance. So if I got an outlet here, and because on this show, we're party poopers. We're not affiliated with Republicans or Democrats because we think they both egregious in their treatment of our people. So that makes a lot of people say, I'm not fucking with them. Because if the Democrats fuck up, we calling them on it. If the Republicans fuck up, we're calling them on it. Everybody can get it. And I think that limits us in terms of people in the circles, not the people, because the people fuck with us. I know that. And I love to everybody who supports the show. But it's some gatekeepers. And it's some people who say, nah, man, talk about Beyonce or some shit. Or talk about rappers and shit. Don't be talking about this political shit. How dare you get Randy Jones on here and be talking about CDBG money and black economic stimulus and stuff like that. No, you niggers go watch Cat Williams Don't you know? Go watch Cat Williams. Hey, I think Cedric the Entertainer just responded again. Go see it. He said, "Rest in peace to Bernie Mac." Yeah, man, Bernie was. I would like to know about this joke though. I don't know. I really would like to know. Did Bernie go back and get his youngster some money? Where's this youngster at? And how did Bernie get that joke? Because that joke was in Kings of Comedy too. I was disappointed by that one. He said, when you say a white man offered to suck your dick, oh, that's what Cat was talking about. I don't want to get into that. It's a family show. I'm on my Ron Burgundy reading the teleprompter and didn't know what I was finna say, right? 36 million views in 5 days this video has gotten. 36 million. YouTube got to cut a fat check, right? And then the publicity and the momentum that comes with that. Woo-wee. I hope Shannon Sharp get him some Black and Miles and some Hennessy like he used to do on the sports show.
Hey, look, his cognac.
We got his own?
Yeah, man. That took off of that show also.
Okay.
I bet. They say how smooth it was and didn't taste like burnt wood.
Yeah, he took off, man. He popping.
And what a slap in the face for Skip for running away, trying to treat that man. See, that's what I'm saying. The beauty is sometimes if you just keep it 100, a door will open for you. And that's why I'm not tripping off Outlaw Radio. I feel like the time is going to come sooner or later. But, I mean, if people understood, it doesn't matter if you accept it or not. It is what it is. We're going to do it anyways. We're going to bring people on. We're going to work with our people. We're going to talk about the good parts. We're going to talk about the complicated parts. We'll have positive stuff. We'll have difficult conversations. We just had a beautiful conversation about self-perception last week. People got to go listen to that show. I listened back to that show. I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, I feel enlightened. And it was my show. E40 say, when I first heard this shit, I even tripped and I made it up. Ain't that a bitch? I don't know if y'all remember that song back in the days. But look, so I think something else that's funny is that now Glendale, I probably should have opened with this. Glendale and some other suburbs are trying to put a lawsuit in to stop the tax.
Right.
Even to the point where they're telling people, we're going to get y'all money back. If you have spent money since the first year. Listen, I'm not making this up. They're upset because they have Milwaukee adjacent area codes. And see, it's sweet when you can get some of our water and when you can come down and catch a movie or a Brewer game or a Bucks game and, and then slide back to your suburb and you don't have to contribute to this shit. But they didn't hit their ass too. And they said, hold on, wait a minute. Us too? Yeah. Motherfucker, you've been living off the mill too. Marky Tover, right? And so they trying to come up with a lawsuit. Anybody see this? I died laughing when I seen this.
No, I ain't see it.
It's in the people's news.
I just seen that people in Glendale seen that tax on Netflix or something like that. I didn't even know they was gonna attach that tax to like streaming services. But yeah, I seen that they got to call and get it reversed on their Netflix bill.
It's on every. They like no, we ain't just because we got this phone number. Maybe it is just streaming. They trying to sue. I didn't see streaming on there. I just was seeing that they were saying because we have these area codes that were Milwaukee adjacent, we're sucked into this tax raise, this tax hike. So it's hilarious to me, and it's such a boneheaded move on the part of it. And to me, I looked at once again. We talk about this election. Aisha Griffin, and we had what's my brother name, David King on here. And brother Chevy or Cavalier, whatever his name is, we call him Little Buddy. They're the only ones running for mayor right now, right? And the more I look at this, the more I say I'm going to vote for David King. It'll be the first time I ever voted for a Republican, but it'll be true to my vision and true to my word to say I vote for people over party.
Right.
This is what he signed us up for. So short-sighted. And it was just so hapless. It was almost, it's borderline cowardly because you offered no resistance against the conditions that they put on it. And you never took into account that you're adding more tax to one of the poorest groups of people in this country. Milwaukee is one of the poorest places in this country. For black people, our median income here is $29,500. White people's is 60. And you're going to take those people, because most of that $29,500 live in the city, and they're the ones that's making the city work.
Right.
We are the ones who spend disposable income. You going to tax them? You didn't even pinch the bitch. You didn't even try. And that, in my eyes, makes you kind of like sheepish. I don't want to call you a coward, because I don't know that, I don't know if you're a coward. I just think it's sheepish. Let's use that word. And that got me not wanting to vote for you, bro. For real, because and Mama Jenkins was famous in the newspaper. She had the quote of the decade to me when they said, well, we'll go bankrupt. And she said, well, let's go bankrupt then. Right. Because they didn't tell you they got a secret stash of money that's set up for this situation. And all you had to do was say, we ain't riding with it, take them conditions off, and then lower it, son. Make it 1.5. Make it, like Kamar said, you done turn $10 into $11, as black people say. $11. $11 now. Wait, man, wasn't this $10? Arab say 11 now, buddy. 11 now.
Hurry up and buy.
Right, hurry up. You don't have 11, move.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man, it felt bad. I felt bad because before I wasn't even charging tax. You know what I mean? But when they did that, that's like, damn, that's a whole $1.
On everything you spend.
Well, I got to, so I felt bad to have to even program that into my POS system.
Well, ain't it another tax that they eventually add into or something like that?
Well, it ends up being 7.9%, and it was 5.5 because of the combined county and city. Okay. Each one of them is taking, but they did come back and ask us for this money for the stadium, which was $100 million, right? Like, and so it's like, do you know the people who you're? Look at who you getting this money from, man.
Right.
It's like, and nobody. It was sad. And nobody called them. None of our major people called them out. They were all on that press conference silent. And he had a pen like, it's a great day for Milwaukee. I was like, no, the fuck it ain't.
Right.
Like, it's sad. It's sad that he said, what's the minimum wage? What is the minimum wage in Milwaukee? $7.75 now?
It's still $7.25, I believe.
Is it? I thought somebody said it went up to $13.50.
They've been talking about it, but I think minimum wage is still $7.25.
Oh wow. Okay. Hey, let's pay attention, man. Let's hold these people feet to the fire. Let's hold them accountable, man. When it's time to vote, let's go back and check their records. That's what you're gonna get when you listen to Outlaw Radio. We're gonna be checking records. Because it ain't personal. Right. You might be a great guy. You just suck ass as a leader. Like you might be the coolest dude in the world to hang around, but I'm not gonna let you balance my checkbook. Like, that's not your strength, right? Keep rolling up. Let me see. He said, this is Earl Henning. He said, they say that new text from Milwaukee City and County is gluten-free. New text from Milwaukee. I'm thinking you meant a different words to the text. He said is gluten-free. I don't know. I missed that one. Listen, and before we get off the air, I absolutely have to say this. Very coincidental that Cat Williams' internet sensation is blown the internet up, and we're talking about stand-up black comedians. Historically, they've never mattered, correct? They've never mattered. Black entertainers have never mattered. Black entertainment never mattered. But they do this when there's some green people walking outside the mall in Miami. Ain't nobody explain to me what the hell happened in Miami. You can say there was some teenagers fighting. There has never been that many police cars to a fight amongst teenagers. They said, well, they had fireworks and people thought they were shooting. I'm telling you, the entire Miami Police Department was at this mall. And I seen some funny footage. I'm like, well, what is that? Is y'all paying attention to this?
Yeah, I seen it.
Can you say distraction? Because I want to know what the fuck happened in Miami. We had it in Vegas.
Hey, maybe that's the distraction.
The alien is the distraction. from Cat Williams?
From the Epstein list.
We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's why we keep having them conversations right there about distractions. We really don't know what the distraction is until it's too late.
This is true. This is true. You ain't lied.
It's probably something they voting in.
Okay. But I would think the hiding, and because we know this is also a time when the United States government has come out over and over and over and said, okay, we admit it. It's some life, it's some UFOs, it's some alien life, and we may or may not have come into contact with them and had knowledge of them for a very long time. To me, that would be more pivotal news than Cedric the Entertainer stole Cat Williams' joke. Like I'm if that's the distraction was the aliens, it worked on me. I was totally off Cat Williams. I'm looking at
they ain't even gotta say they been knew about it. Just say that's what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, y'all, it was some motherfucking aliens.
As a matter of fact, your neighbor is one.
You know
right?
what I mean?
Remember your third grade teacher who you thought was weird? She's one. She's from the planet Captalon. She's Captain Killian, right? You know, remember the dude who used to always smell funny and you never knew what that smell was? He was a stinker con. He's from planet Stinkerzoid.
Hey, I feel like just don't kill it. Just don't shoot it.
Well, let them live unless they come with some bullshit. Once again, I'm one of them people. I'm a black nerd. I've always looked at technology between the year 1940 and 1970. 30 years, right? Look at the technological revolutions that were made. And they say, well, that's reverse engineering of alien technology. One of the prices of us letting you stay here and be a stinker con is share that aluminum foil. Show us how to make this plastic, this microwave oven that can safely use radiation to cook our food. Well, allegedly safe. Show us fiber optic technology. We were sending telegrams like a motherfucker. Next year, motherfuckers on the phone. Hello? It's like, what? Think about this shit, man. Like, think about whole cities, power grids being developed where we was using lanterns. I'm like riding on a horse with a torch. Now you got LED solar sensitive light systems that are set up by advanced computer. Where do you think AI is coming from? Is it really artificial intelligence or is it alien intelligence? See, there we go, right? There we go. Give me one. Right? Don't be fronting. People, I ain't never thought about that shit, cuz. Yeah. I just think, yeah. And the Epstein list is big. You said that dropped too. It's coincidental when we see something as major as an alien walking outside a mall in Miami who done got loose or got away from his captors or decided I'm tired of wearing this disguise versus Cedric the Entertainer stealing a joke about backing the space shuttle into a parking space. Like, think about it. And black people was running crazy with that shit.
Kev, now check it out. Now, if that is a deception, that also would mean Cat Williams a part of that shit too.
He may be an alien. Look at him. Listen at him.
Oh man, I ain't talking about.
No, he may be.
I'm saying, hey, I'm just speaking real.
I am too.
If what Kevin Hart is saying, you know what I mean, is a distraction. I mean, Cat Williams. If what he's saying is a distraction, then that means he's in on that whole demonstration on what he's trying to out them for, because he part of the whole distraction. You see what I'm saying?
If serious.
That's what it is.
I'm serious when I say he might be an alien, Kamar. Listen, I'm serious. He's 50. He runs a 4.4. What 50? Come on, man.
Allegedly.
They had the footage of him running in the gym.
Did it look like 4.4 speed?
It was faster than I could run. I said, you at 50, you ain't supposed to be that fast. And his voice, listen at him. He's a very small dude. He's unusual. He's different. And they say he got this superb IQ. This is supposedly documented. And from a young child, he had this really big I'm trying to tell you. You don't know who the aliens are, right? We don't know. And so who's distracted from what? We don't know. You know, Ernest was distracted by his anger at Oprah. He cussing her out, and they got a whole green dude in Foot Locker at the mall in Miami. He's fucking. He said most people been programmed so much that they think you talking crazy. Now I'm with you. No, thank you, Ernest. Listen, you're right. What sounds crazy when we talking about an alien walking around a shopping mall? People say that's impossible. But we just had footage a couple years ago from some people in Las Vegas with real clear footage of some aliens. They said that's fake. That's CGI. That ain't real. And so these people swear by this footage. Like, nah, dude, you seen the Bigfoot rolling around in Denver, just chilling outside the train going by. He just in the field eating vegetables, just in the desert, walking around collecting leaves. It's easy for them to say, nah, man, that ain't real. Just like the fact that for all these years, how long has the media made you think Cat Williams was crazy, that he was a drug addict, that he had lost his mind? That's why they show him wrestling with the little kids and all this. Who knows how that really went down? The media has enough power to say, nah, it ain't this, it's that. They can take the context away from a situation, right? And so we don't know. I think the safest way to go is to question everything. I think that's where we at. You really got to question everything. Even politicians who are running for office.
Uh-oh.
Not you, Randy.
Go ahead, bring it on.
not Randy, but all the rest of them, right? Somebody get Aisha Griffith on here. No, I'm just saying, man, you can't. And our government has proven time and time again that they will lie and deceive the American people to get whatever they need to get done, right? Like they ain't told you that for years they took some cells out of a black woman that were super cells that fought off disease and infection and put them in their own people to help them with their weak immune systems for years. Henrietta Lacks. They ain't tell us about that, because if you just said it, people say that's crazy. Right. How this black woman got these super cells? Yeah, what you mean she got this unique DNA? But that shit really happened. And so, I mean, there's a lot of people who didn't know that Tuskegee was giving out, gonorrhea and syphilis. They didn't know. They thought this shit. I don't know why. I just don't feel good since I went by that school. You probably thought you caught it from some chick. He gave you a whole shot. Told black people you got bad blood, so we're going to give you a shot for it. It was giving you an STD to experiment on you to see how it affected us. Because they wanted to know what diseases we can fight off better than them so they could steal from us. Yeah. Say shit. Come on, man.
They got that idea from malaria, I believe.
There we go.
Because we was able to accept malaria better than they could. They was dying from it. We wasn't.
He said that was Yellowstone. Okay, it wasn't Denver. Bigfoot was in Yellowstone Park. My bad. He's in Yellowstone. Whoever that was out there went a long way to carry a hoax. Because what you doing out in the random, I don't know. They could have did that shit on a Hollywood soundstage. It looked real. It looked real. You don't never know. That's why I believe in the moon landing. But black people be like, you dumb as hell. They made that shit in the studio. They ain't really land on the moon. Said you got to question everything, including politicians who are running for office. I agree. Henrietta Lacks. That's what I'm talking about. The sister with the cells, and she didn't even know what they was taking from her. But they make you think you stupid. Yo, you crazy. And then they use the media to reinforce that. Just like the dude who exposed the CIA for and the United States government for bringing cocaine into the black community, Gary Weber, who committed suicide with his left hand, even though he was right-handed, and he shot himself in the head twice. Right. He was an alcoholic anyways, right?
Bam! Oh, wait a minute. I ain't doing right.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But it is what it is. Jesse Parrish, he said, yep, her family sued that biotech company. We covered that on the second season of Frontline Black News. It's ongoing. And I'm beginning to understand why nobody wants me on their show. I understand. That's okay. It's okay. Y'all gonna be all right. I believe that the truth will win in the end. I'm not even worried about it. And I'm also the type of individual that believes there is nothing man can take from you that God has meant for you. Mm-hmm. And God's not going to give you anything that he doesn't want you to have.
Right.
So you just got to live and try to be prepared for whatever it is that he does give you. That's just kind of like my personal philosophy. It's Monday. It's supposed to snow tomorrow. I don't know. Everything's closing down. If you got to drive, be safe. If you got to be out here, we seen it ran into the school bus this morning full of kids, horrific accident. Somebody lost their life. I don't know what just happened to people in the last 20 years in Milwaukee where they just be like, fuck it when they driving. It's crazy. I look at the bump outs. They more skint up than anything. People ain't getting
right.
Hey, right.
Hey, remember I told y'all how on the south side they got them there too?
Mm-hmm.
They clean as a motherfucker over there.
Okay.
Hey, look, the little white poles that they put up, they all still standing up over there. Over here, it ain't no poles no more.
It's fenders and fucking bumpers on these. I'm like, damn, who came through here last night? That's another thing, Randy, when you come back, to come up with a plan for reckless driving. We've talked about everything from putting driver's ed back in the schools. They trying to put the police back in the schools now, which based on some of the things that have happened in MPS buildings, parents getting their ass whooped, teachers getting their ass whooped, kids getting their ass whooped, teachers buying young men pistols and shit and sleeping with them. They probably do need to put the police back in the school. I know black people gonna disagree with me. Right. It's all good. Kamar, what you got coming up this week? Because it's Monday. What you got Wednesday? What you got between now and Wednesday?
Today, man, nothing much, man. Y'all catch me at the House of Vitality at the Sherman Phoenix, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7. Look, it's gonna be snowing tomorrow. A lot of y'all gonna be sniffing real good. Your throat's gonna be itching and shit. Come on down and holler at me. I got something for you, man. Them flus, them colds, all that shit is viral, right? So if they viruses, it's in your blood. I got something for that. Let's get that shit out of there. Let's clean them systems out. I told y'all the holidays just passed. The New Year's just passed. It's time to flush that shit out, man. Y'all filthy. Your body's like a junkyard right now.
Chitlins and
Let's
shit.
clean that shit out, man.
Yeah.
Come holler at me.
Macaroni and cheese, dressing and shit.
All that. It's just sitting in there, marinating.
Potato salad just packed up in your ass, right? Randy, you running in the 7th district. I think what you got until April or in the fall, right?
March 20th is the primaries.
Okay, primaries. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Spring primaries.
Get the people your phone number one more time.
Phone number again is 414-477-6442. That's my personal cell. You can contact me there. It will continue to be my personal cell. Once I'm in office, you can contact me.
There we go. And make sure you holler at my sponsor, EPU Personal Defense. Go to their website, epusds.com. Holler at Eagle Eye Shaw, my other sponsor. And John Fletcher will be here Wednesday to talk about it.
Shout out to John Fletcher. He pulled up on me the other day.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah, John Fletcher rock with Outlaw Radio.
Yeah, we had a dope conversation too, man. I love that. I love that when they pull up. You know what I mean? With that conversation, ready to talk this outlaw shit. I love that.
Yeah, man. And you'd be surprised where it come from, right? That's what I'm saying. Why they hating on us? Why they acting? You can't ignore us forever. Ewok, you never call back in this late, so it got to be poignant. What's popping?
Obviously, something ain't right. Shit. Hey, either my iPod ain't been fucked up or your show stopped for everybody. I just want to know if it's just me.
It's just you.
I'm assuming it's just you because I'm still seeing comments. Shay is saying, and it's matching right up the time code. He said y'all got the same storm we had coming y'all way. So I'm thinking it might be you. It's not us. And I don't see any interruptions on my end. So yeah, it's probably you, brother.
That motherfucking Milwaukee snowstorm that fucked up my iPad all the way in motherfucking goddamn Arizona. Oh, cheap ass Milwaukee. Man, leave that motherfucker, man. Get you a goddamn show out here.
That got awkward.
I'm just fucking with you, man. You know I gotta say. I gotta say something, man.
Right.
You big dummy. It is what it is.
There we go. All right,
it
man.
It is what it is, man.
All right, peace.
Outlaw Radio for life.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, man. Shout out to Ewok. Rail, anything shaking or just plantation like myself? Just in the field singing Negro spirituals.
Man, just the job right now, man. And shit. It's been a lot of a lot of immigrants coming in, man, with their ICE papers. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's true about them being shipped up north when they get caught, man.
Hey.
But it's just a job right now, and about to get another batch of wine going to be ready by Valentine's.
Okay, I gotta get back in. I didn't get a squiggle because when I hollered at you, you was sick because I wanted to get the
I was sick.
the CBD cigar and the wine, but I didn't want to come home with no like nothing in the bottle where I'm just,
right. So that ginger cranberry wine that flew out the door, man. I got like 2 more apple pies left.
Okay, I might have to come around your way this weekend. We'll see how my mobility is, man.
For sure.
Jesse said, yeah, you still live, Kev. Look, man, I appreciate everybody coming in. Holler at Randy Jones. Holler at EPU Personal Defense. Holler at Kamar Carter in the House of Vitality. Share the show. Go to the People's News Network. Join in. Holler at my boy Sean Moore with the Cupcast. Whatever you can do to support us is what I would say you should do. I always talk about the 3 S's, and that's separatism, sovereignty, and solidarity. And which one is more possible at this point? Well, we ain't ready for separatism. We damn sure we ain't ready yet for sovereignty. Not saying it couldn't happen, but man, solidarity is sitting there looking you right in your face. You just got to pick up on it, man. So make sure you're the type of person that's about action. And you know, it's okay to talk, but sometimes you got to really get out there and make it happen. They say don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, because we all know that if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, that makes you a coon. And you need to tune in Wednesday so we can help fix you. Peace and love, man. Outlaws for life. I'll see y'all Wednesday, man.
Peace.
Listen, the only way this thing will be official is if the people choose it. So that means share the show.